most successful AmFam agents that they have, I think.
It would have been a fun gig, too. But I look at this and think, I get it. I understand it. I don't like it. I would have loved for Craig Counsell to do it. But this whole idea that that nobody else would have, and I know Jesse's going to weigh in on this, I understand it. What I don't get, in this situation, everybody's trying to compare this to Favre and Rodgers. No. Everybody's missing the boat on this. You know who this situation is directly comped to, in my opinion?
Mike Holmgren.
No. Keep guessing.
Vince Lombardi.
It's a player.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Davante Adams. This situation is eerily similar to a Davante Adams situation.
Tell me more.
And what I mean by that is, Davante Adams is a wide receiver for the Las Vegas Raiders.
He used to play for the Packers.
Davante Adams wanted to stay in Green Bay. Everybody said, well, the Raiders paid him more and all this. Craig Counsell, I do not believe, ever wanted to leave the Milwaukee Brewers. I think Craig Counsell was looking at it saying, I have over – how many years was he the manager? 7 total? 7 or 8?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say this was his 8th season. He has given 7 years, and there's a reason that usually coaches and managers don't go to their lame duck year because they feel like they should be rewarded. And Craig Counsell, I feel like, put in all these years and had the greatest run in the history of the Milwaukee Brewers as a manager. Didn't make it to the World Series, but did this. And I think he wanted to feel loved and taken care of and didn't want to have to force everyone else to show him that his own club that they needed to pay him market rate. And in the same respect that Craig Counsell would have loved to have signed a big fat extension for $7 or $8 million last year before the last year of his deal, I think after it got to that point, I think he said, you know what, man, this ain't going to work here. I need to do this somewhere else. And the same thing happened with Davante, and the same thing, fans can get mad at Davante, and that one is completely misguided. Here, because it's a managerial thing and you don't have the injury risk, and the fact that you went to the team that you hate the most.
The only team.
I get it, yes. But I do think the Davante Adams parallel is much more apropos than what Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers in comparison to Craig Counsell.
I did not think of that, and I am very impressed with you right now. By the way,
nice.
9 seasons as the Brewers manager, 707 wins, 625 losses, a winning percentage of .531. So 9 seasons. He also played several years. Then he worked in the front office for a period. I think Mark Attanasio, when he was talking with John Mercure and Greg Matzik on Wisconsin's Afternoon News on 620 WTJ.
Very harsh.
Said 17 years with the organization.
Attanasio is very harsh, I thought.
Yeah, I guess
felt like he got blindsided.
It would appear, yes. And the fact that when Craig Counsell called him to tell him he was going to the Cubs, he reacted like Rasul Douglas getting a phone call from Goody being told he was being traded.
Who is this?
Are you messing with me? But I will say this. It does feel as though the Brewers and Mark Attanasio has done as good of a job as the Packers did with the Davante. Your Davante Adams comp is outstanding. Like,
it's on point. Yeah.
I have not heard. Well, yes, I was complimenting you. I appreciate you confirming my compliment. I have not heard anyone else draw that comp. We did the Holmgren thing. We did the Vince Lombardi thing on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. We obviously talked about Favre. You nailed it. And what also is a parallel is that there is this spin, right, that is going on of Mark Attanasio's line to the guys on Wisconsin's Afternoon News was, as I told the group, we lost Craig, but Craig also lost us and our community. The community that you're at least talking about, if you don't get the stadium done, you would be leaving the community too.
Yeah, it's from the Brewers PR standpoint, the worst case would have been, and Craig could still do this, but he did not go back to them with the $8 million a year offer. The Brewers, PR-wise, this worked out great for them. Now, if you just take it at face value, I look at it from a little different perspective. And I think the same thing comes from the Green Bay Packers with Devontae. Devontae Adams didn't want to leave Green Bay. Devontae Adams didn't want to play his last year of a deal with taking on all their injury risk. He wanted to get paid because he felt like, man, I've given you guys everything I got.
Yeah.
And when they decided not to, that was the moment when he reported back in and was playing the Euro. That was it for the Green Bay Packers this year, and deuces.
Right.
I think the same thing happened with Craig Counsell. And if you sense it and listening to him, and he's on every Tuesday with Vince and the boys right before I would go on, and you'd hear
How
him
is
talk.
He today?
He wasn't on today. It's only in season. I think the interesting part of it is he handled it really well in the fact he did not let that become a topic every week, which, trust me, media people would have loved to have asked him every week what the decision's going to be. And I think when they didn't come to grips, or that the organization didn't come and say, we want to make you whole, we want to make you the highest paid manager, I'm guessing Craig would have probably done that. But that's not how it played out. And, again, that's why I don't get as emotionally dialed in as I think I would if I didn't see how this whole mechanism spun.
Wow.
And
You're feeling
is that
like me.
Being jaded? Is that me being jaded? Maybe a little bit. But I think it's just Craig Counsell deserves a lot of love for what he was able to do and lead this team through. But I don't besmirch one person for saying that they're really irritated and can't believe that this is the road Craig went down, because it stings a lot more being that it's a Chicago Cubs and not going to the Toronto Blue Jays or the New York Mets.
So, Jesse, we have stifled you. You've got your. Did you wear your Brewers hoodie in like mourning? You need like a black one with like a black logo you could barely see.
I need a funeral dirge.
Share your thoughts, because you are, unlike the sports writer and the former professional athlete, you are a fan and you are pissed.
Yep. I could not believe when I saw the news yesterday that he was going to the Cubs. Like, I thought he was staying with the Brewers. But if the Mets would have thrown a ton of money at him with David Stearns running the front office, got it. If the Miami Marlins were this mystery team that was reported for about 20 minutes before it became official he was joining the Cubs, and he had won a World Series there and wanted to go back and try and return to glory, and they had a ton of money. Okay, get it. You are from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Whitefish Bay. You grew up, you're 53 years old. You've grown up your entire life in and around baseball, knowing what the Brewers-Cubs rivalry has become. And looking at parks that are named after you, reveling in your legacy as the most successful Brewers manager of all time, and willingly choosing at the end of your tenure, I'm going to leave this team and go get a boatload of cash from the arch rival to the team that fans in this community hate the most, is either incredibly short-sighted or a big blank you to the Milwaukee Brewers fan base.
You seem to be taking this personally.
Yeah. He's our guy. He's our hometown guy. We want to cheer for our own guy to lead the team. Well, then you don't go to the Cubs. Like, that's just what you do. I understand the situation might make sense. And get out of here with the, well, you would leave for a competitor offering you money too. This is like saying, if you grew up in your small town and there's this restaurant that you really loved from the time that you're a kid, and you go to this restaurant over and over and over, and it inspires you to want to become a restaurateur, and you get into the industry, and you get the opportunity to take over that restaurant, and you make it into something that's really great, and maybe you're not making as much money as some of the other restaurants around here, but you're doing what you love, and everyone loves that, oh, the hometown guy is running the restaurant. And then suddenly the chain Applebee's in the town across the way says, hey, we'll give you 3 times as much to come work here. See ya. And then the restaurant crumbles. That's what
But
this
that's
is.
not what happened.
Yes, it is.
That's not at all what happened.
Yes,
No,
it
it's
is. The Cubs offered him a
No.
ton of money. The Brewers offered him a ton of money. It just wasn't as much as the Cubs offered him. And he said, you know
No,
what? The
here's
cash is what
happened.
matters.
No,
See
if
ya.
You wanna,
Oh, boy.
If you want to be honest, it's not about some chain restaurant giving you 3X. It's about, hey, we are going to bring in a 5-star Michelin chef, which is something you've always wanted. We're going to pay you 3X of what you were getting paid at Applebee's. You're going to be in the primo location from a real estate standpoint. You're going to own this thing. You're going to get to do all of the decisions that you want and with the ingredients. And now I've always wanted to do Italian food. You forced me to do Mexican, Italian, and the whole bit. So I get to specialize in what I want to do. I'm getting paid 3X what I get. I'm in a primo location, and I get a 5-star Michelin chef that I've wanted my whole life. That's what this is. This isn't me grabbing a little bit extra cash and going to an Applebee's. Okay? That's not what this is. So
what it
I
feels
get
like.
it, and Jesse, you're being emotional, and that's what you should be.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have one problem with it, but to act as
But
if
your analogy sucks.
I understand sports can't be comped out. It can't be.
Right.
But it can be. But it can be. Money matters. Like, I don't know why the situation matters. And just because he's comfortable and done this, do you ever think that maybe he thinks he's done everything he can here and he wasn't able to get us over the hump?
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Because there's a limit on what they can do payroll-wise, and that we scrapped and did everything we could. We were in position. And as Jesse said, it was the most important postseason ever because of Shohei Ohtani not going to the Dodgers yet, and they still didn't get it done. So you can castigate Craig all you want. He is putting himself in this, from a Brewers fan standpoint, what I think is happening, Jesse, you don't want to be pissed at the organization because you're going to root for the Brewers. I'm going to root for the Brewers. But you have to look at this and say, are you mad at Craig, or are you mad that the situation that the Brewers are in, which is they're a lower revenue team that can't spend, they can't make the mistakes. Like, is that what you're more mad about, that this is the situation you're in? Because the restaurant thing didn't work for me.
Maybe the analogy. I should know better than to bring an analogy to this show when you're around.
That's true.
I should know that by
What
now.
are you, Brad Nortman? Like,
Yeah,
come on.
and now, I'm really like, I'm low on the analogy totem pole.
So,
these days.
so Jesse.
By the way, I think more people listening to us today are going to agree with Jesse than me
I
or
agree.
you, Jason. And that's 1,000% the way it should be.
Right.
All I'm saying is, if you look at it from Craig's perspective, which you don't need to, I'm not asking you to. All I'm saying is, I'm guessing this is where his mind is. And you can still be mad at him and say he traded you and all this other stuff, and that's how you feel. Great. But there's more to the story, as Paul Harvey used to say.
From one great radio voice to another. Let me ask you this question, and we'll ask everybody this. 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. But Jesse, to Tausch's point, because he kept talking after he made it, and I want you to respond. Craig Counsell won 2 World Series titles as a player, right? One with the Diamondbacks, one with the Marlins. And the idea that Tausch presented to you, that maybe he felt like he had done everything he could for a, shall we say, thrifty organization, and unlike in Moneyball,
Limited.
and unlike in Moneyball, where Brad Pitt goes to Fenway Park and gets the offer to go run the Red Sox and turns it down to stay in Oakland, Craig Counsell said, you know what? I want to try and win a World Series, and I want to go somewhere where people are going to give me the resources to do it. Do you begrudge him for that? And is it only because of the Cubs? Because if it was the Astros who did the same thing, would you be like, I wish him luck, thank you for your service?
Well, the Astros are different. Everybody hates the Astros. Joe Madden did
What
it.
about the White Sox? What about the White Sox?
Well,
great question.
it would be different if it was the White Sox. Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Joe Madden did
Okay.
this. He was in Tampa. They did all they could, like with less.
Yeah,
And
did a hell of a job.
then the Cubs offered him a huge deal. He went there, won a World Series. He's loved in Chicago, even though he ended up getting fired at the end. Everyone remembers him as the
Also
World
true.
Series winning manager.
Indeed.
He's also thought he invented baseball, and so be it.
These are all fair points by Jesse.
Joe Madden
In
catching
fairness.
some strays, as they like to say.
So, if Craig Counsell hadn't scored the game-winning walk-off run to win 2 World Series as a player, I would say, yeah, okay, maybe he just really wants that championship, and the Cubs offer him the best chance to win that championship. He scored 2 walk-off
How
runs.
dare he want to manage a World Series
He
champion?
touched home plate to win 2 championships. Win one for your hometown team. You don't need to go win one as a manager for the Cubs because they offered you $8 million a year.
All right,
Jesse
well, then
says
he's going to
so.
say, don't trade Josh Hader in the middle of a playoff run.
And that's fair.
Don't trade Corbin Burns or Woody when we're trying to win.
Who are
I'm not,
next to
I'm
go?
not
What do you
saying I'm-
answer to that?
I'm not saying
What
I'm
do you answer to
going
that?
to fight for Mark Ananazio in an alley fight here. Like I think
you are.
there's plenty of issues that are going on top
Do you
to
think
bottom
he
around
wants you to
this thing.
fight for on his behalf in an alley?
Probably not. I wouldn't want myself on any team in any alley in any fight. There's a
Do you
lot of
think,
issues in
Jesse,
this
do you think-
organization, but Craig Counsell is now no longer an issue in the organization. He's an issue for the organization because he's an issue in the division for our rival.
Everybody's emotions are hot with how this played out. Do you think anyone is actually more supportive of Mark Antanasio after what happened? I think as an organization, people are mad at Craig, but I'm guessing as this thing unfurls, I don't think it's good. There's always going to be, Counsell's going to get booed out of his mind when he comes here Memorial Day weekend next year.
is. Indeed.
But do we not look at this at all from the organizational standpoint either? Or is this strictly Craig Counsell betrayed us even though Craig Counsell did what was best for him and his family?
All right,
which is what every human being, by the way, Jesse, would do in these situations.
Except for
I don't
Jesse.
care what profession it is. Now,
Except for Jesse at his
if
restaurant
Jesse
in
got an offer to
Muskego.
go to Bradley University and be the play-by-play guy and make $30,000 more than what he's – or I don't even know what he's making, but $30 more, would we be mad at him for doing that? I don't know.
I don't know, but I could tell you this. If Gina Della left us and went to Pella Windows and Doors of Chicago, I don't know how I'd handle it.
It would hurt. It would hurt. I'd have to ask her about that, but I can't control that. Pella can't. Well, Pella probably can control that, but I can't. But what we can't control is inflation and skyrocketing prices and shrinkflation and everything that goes with that. But there is something you can do at home. You can dramatically lower your energy costs year-round simply by replacing those drafty windows and doors. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin can have them installed in as little as 6 weeks, and now you can save even more by taking advantage of no interest and no down payment for up to 36 months when you order by November 30th. Set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
All right. If you want to back Jesse, the number is 844-770-3776. If you'd like to vent or get a little therapy, we're here for you for that. Again, 844-770-3776. I'm wondering, in my typical way, is it possible that this was the right decision for both sides? For Mark Attanasio to say, you know what, $8 million's a hell of a lot. $5.5 million would have made him the highest paid manager in baseball too, and we were willing to go there, and we just don't. We were not going to go any higher. Now, it's easy to also argue that given what you pay even a utility infielder, that managers are probably worth more than what they get paid in Major League Baseball, and he is trying to change the way they get paid. But is it possible that saying no is the right decision for the Brewers, and that this is the right decision for Craig Counsell, and hating on him, other than the emotion of him going to the Cubs, is just wrong? 844-770-3776. 844-770-3776. We'll take your thoughts on this. We do want to talk Badgers today. We do want to talk Packers today. Usually the Brewers are not top of mind on this program, but they sure as hell are today. Stick around. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Take it to the house this season and enjoy tailgating from your own backyard. Tito's wants to make sure you have the best tailgate on the block. You can win game day gear for your next gathering by entering to win at Tito'sTailgate.com. Be sure to enter by November 15th for your chance to win a Solo Stove Grill, a Brewmate back tap for batch cocktails, or a Tito's football jersey. For official rules, visit Tito'sTailgate.com. Must be 21 years old to enter. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Silverman here. Are you thinking about remodeling your bath or shower? Well, now's the perfect time to save on design and remodeling with Kohler Services, a family-owned business for 150 years. Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer, offering fast, professional installation and care for life. For 2 weeks only, Kohler Services is offering $1,500 off your shower or bath remodel from now until November 15th. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote with installation always included. Again, that's KohlerServicesWI.com.
Hi everyone, John Miller here from PDS, a Converge company. PDS has been providing technology solutions and transforming IT for area companies for over 30 years. Today, we are helping organizations integrate digital workplace strategies that are giving today's worker the true ability to work from anywhere as they balance work and life both securely and productively. And as HP's largest partner in the area, our combined solutions have never been more important. If you're struggling with this, know we stand ready to help. From ideation to transformation, we can help you evolve your work from anywhere strategy. Learn more at pdsit.net.
Everywhere you look, from groceries to utilities to gas, prices keep going up. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin can dramatically help lower your energy costs year-round by replacing drafty windows and doors in as little as 6 weeks. And now you can save even more by taking advantage of no interest and no down payment for up to 36 months when you order by November 30th. Set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details. Offer ends 11/30/2023.
Mark Silverman here for Chalmers Jewelers. Well, it's always a good time to get that special someone in your life a beautiful gift. And when I'm in need of a new piece of jewelry, Chalmers Jewelers is my go-to place. Whether I want a timeless classic or a one-of-a-kind piece, Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison has just what I'm looking for. My life has been made so much easier thanks to the great team over at Chalmers Jewelers, and is the reason I keep going back for more. Visit chalmersjewelers.com to find your perfect new piece of jewelry today.
LabCorp Clinical Trials is changing to a new name, Fortrea. While the name may be different, Fortrea combines decades of great experience and professionalism with new opportunities for clinical trial participation. It's more than a mission and more than a new name. Fortrea is dedicated to moving healthcare forward. To learn more about the future of healthcare and upcoming clinical trials, visit us at FortreaClinicalTrials.com. That's FORTREA clinicaltrials.com.
Hey, it's Hunter Vaughn. ESPN Madison and Zimbrick Honda are celebrating the area's best high school sports stories with the Game Changers of the Month. Follow ESPN Madison on social media to see teams making an impact in their community. Nominate your local team today at ESPNMadisonGameChangers.com.
If you want a fresh twist on surf and turf, look no further than North and South Seafood and Smokehouse. Inspired by their time living in the Alaskan Gulf in southern Texas, owners Keith and Aaron brought together unique culinary backgrounds to create a truly authentic American restaurant here in Madison. After expanding to 2 more locations in DeForest and Verona, you can savor smoky, wood-fired barbecue and freshly prepared seafood from around the country. Explore their full menu and dining options at eatnorthandsouth.com. That's eatnorthandsouth.com.
Madison Money Guy Christian Finfrock here. Struggling to understand retirement planning, life insurance policies, or managing your wealth? Listen to my show every Saturday at 7 a.m. on 100.5 ESPN, or call me right now at 208-1800 for a complimentary consultation.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
Hey, Tausch. Remember yesterday when the Packers won on Sunday and we didn't get that many calls? and it didn't feel like past Mondays, we're making up for it today. Phone line's not quite full yet, but darn close. 844-770-3776. Now, speaking of Jesse's analogy for restaurants, you don't...
We don't have to revisit it.
No, I definitely do.
Hey, Jason, so what is the overarching question we want every caller to answer? 'Cause there's
Whose
a
side
ton
are
here.
you... To me, the question is, whose side are you on? Right? And to me, it's Mark Attanasio versus Craig Counsell.
I agree.
Okay?
Agree.
And I got a text, and I didn't want to share this with you, but I'm going to. It's from someone I really, really value their opinion. And it's a long text. I'm not going to read it. But they're raving. Huh?
Was it Pipe
It's
Jim?
not Pipe Jim.
Pipe Jim?
No, Pipe Jim has texted, though. And John Kerry and a number of others. And Jesse's just getting murdered in our group text with Justin Garcia, Ashton Rotman, Joshi DiMaggio. It's not pretty.
But I think our callers are going to be on Jesse's side today.
I'm eager to get to them. Let me just say this. I got a text from someone whose opinion I value a lot, and they raved about your comp. The Davante Adams one, because of he didn't want to leave, and if you'd have taken care of him when you could have taken care of him, none of this would have happened. And then the organization seemingly effectively skating because they put it on him. Oh, he wanted to go to Vegas. We offered him more money on his way out the door. It's just so bogus. It's just bogus. And it wouldn't have had to been $8 million if you'd have done it
6.5 or 7.
Right, if you'd have done it previously. So again, that's where I come at it. But again, I'm not an emotional fan either. You're a former NFL player. I'm a reporter. It's not the same here. You are emotional about certain things, but this one, you're not emotional. Jesse very much
I'm
is.
not,
so
no.
let's see if our fans are. But my analogy, to use Jesse's restaurant analogy, I know you come here. The dish here, the house specialty, is the Packers here, right? With a side of the Badgers and a very large dessert tray full of nonsense. Today we are doing this, and we welcome in everyone who doesn't normally listen because they're more Brewers fans. So we're happy to have you along for the ride. Let's get to your calls. 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. Let's head on out to Big Bend, Wisconsin first and talk to Glenn. Glenn, good morning. How you doing today?
I'm good. How about you?
I am very eager to see how these calls go. My text chain is filled with names, and I'm hoping at least some of them push back on Jesse and don't agree with him.
Okay. I'm on Counsell's side because I'm a Cubs fan, and I love the taste of Jesse.
Whoa, Nelly! Thanks for the call, Glenn.
Did Jesse just hang up on you? Jesse.
Fine.
That Craig has lost our community. Give me a break. He's playing you, Brewer fans. He's a billionaire. He could have ponied up for the best manager in baseball last year. Read the SI article from Verducci, where they have a close counsel friend saying, if he ever managed anywhere else, the Cubs have always been his dream job. Attanasio screwed the pooch on this one.
Yeah, I will just say this. I don't know him. I've never spoken to him. I did not think some of the work that he has done has played especially well. Especially for someone who he doesn't live in our community either. Like this is not Bud Selig saying he's losing our community, right? He lives in California, does he not? So that's part of it. The bottom line, though, Glenn, is congratulations. You've got the best manager in baseball, and you're paying him handsomely to take over your club. 844-770-3776. Tausch, quick before one more call. Is there a little bit of an ew feeling when you take a job that wasn't actually open yet?
Yeah.
Because that was that IP.
I think
the first thought I had was IPT.
IPT. I think coaches really are very careful about that piece of it. And you also wonder if they're going to do it to him, are they going to do it to you?
Right.
It's kind of as
if you're willing if you're willing to cheat to start a relationship, you're willing to cheat to end the relationship.
You always I bet Counsell better be BYOBing his own deal when he goes down there, because there's no doubt I would be. But you know what? The beautiful part of that is that $40 million, that's going to be in his bank account unless he does something really stupid. So I get it. I think that's the part that's a little icky. And I do think if it was somewhere else outside of the Cubbies, just because
yes,
Craig Counsell as someone that's grown up in Whitefish Bay and done all the stuff. And this does not mean – I am not going to be one of those people that means – now this means he hates Wisconsin, that he does this. No. There is professional – there is some of this other stuff that goes with it, but I get it. I understand it, and I think I understand why fans are mad, but I do think this comes back to, are you really just venting out at the person that you respect and like because you're so disappointed that it shows you the bigger picture of where the problem really lies, which is what I think most fans are going to acknowledge at some point in their Kubler process.
Let's get to another call. Meanwhile, Josh DiMaggio, I don't even know if anyone else is responding to him in our text chain. I think he's just working his way through his emotions. He's Kublering in our text chain like he's had like 8 in a row. Let's get some more of your calls first. Let's do one here, and then we'll do more after the next break. Let's talk to Tony in Waukesha. Tony, thanks for holding on. How you feeling today?
I'm feeling I'm okay. It's a ride, but I want to just say that Tausch's idea of Adams is good, except for the fact that the Brewers tried to renegotiate with him before the season, and he broke off negotiations during spring training, and so he said he wanted to focus on the year. So that kind of doesn't work, but I do want to do the analogy with the restaurant was terrible, but I have a better one.
Thanks, Tony.
I need Tausch to really understand, and I think this will hit home for him and really understand how Brewers fans are feeling. So we know that Tausch is a Badger guy, right? Badgers all the way, Badgers, Packers, right? Hometown guy, right? So in 2005, if Barry Alvarez doesn't retire and goes to Ohio State, how are you feeling?
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm bummed. I'd be very bummed. You're right.
Tony, nicely done.
Just bummed?
Yeah.
Bummed.
No, I'd be really bummed. Yeah, I'd be bummed.
Very, very bummed.
Yeah.
Tony, that was well executed right there. And he kind of built into it, too.
Yeah, he did.
He kind of lulled you to sleep, and then
softened me up a little bit.
Barry Alvarez.
Softened me up. So everything is, I think you would see that, and when Bielema left, I was irritated that he thinks that job at Arkansas was that much better. That's what I was mad about. It wasn't that he wanted to go make a bunch of money and get out of Alvarez's shadow and all those things. I get all that. Barry, I think, had he left for Miami when there were those talks, or to Green Bay when there were those talks, I would have understood that. I think at the end, if he was going to move on at that point in his career, I would have been really bummed because he had done 15, 20 years of work. But, again, I think I would have at that point been really sad. But I would have worked through it. But, yes, that's a great point, and I think my emotions would have run higher as I was closer to that situation, for sure.
844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. We'll continue with your calls after Tausch tells us about Kohler Services, who, they do some renovating, and now the Brewers are, too, with their managerial situation.
Yeah, and if you've been, the Brewers are thinking about getting a new manager. If you've been thinking about updating your bath or shower, you stay in Wisconsin. You don't go down to Chicago. You stay right here at Kohler. The design service is a local end-to-end bath and shower design and remodel service brought to you by Kohler, a family-owned business in Wisconsin for 150 years. They're not going out of state. They're staying right here. And when you think of premium, luxury Wisconsin brands, you think of Kohler. And Kohler is the only manufacturer offering fast professional installation and care for life. You can start enjoying your bath or shower right now with a special offer. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote. Tell them Old T sent you. Again, that's KohlerServicesWI.com.
Craig Counsell is no longer the Brewers manager. He is instead the Chicago Cubs manager. 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. The phone lines are almost full, but not full. So call now. We'll get your thoughts next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen, UW-Madison class of 2002. Join me, Michelle Smallman, and Super Bowl champion Chris Canty every weekday morning from 5 to 9, right here on 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand on Wisconsin.
Mark Tauscher here for the great team at Everlight Solar. Well, with the holidays approaching, everyone is thinking about ways they can save a few bucks to be able to spend more time with our loved ones. Well, what if I told you there's a way you can save money and save the planet by making the switch to Everlight Solar? Take back control of your energy bill with a switch to solar. Trust me, my family worked with the team at Everlight Solar to make the switch, and man, are we happy we did. From the very first conversation, the Everlight Solar team educated us on all the benefits of switching to solar. And you know how much I appreciate keeping things simple. Everlight makes that switch super easy. Join us in saving money and creating a greener environment for our family and the community by switching to solar. Learn more and schedule a free consultation at everlightsolar.com. That's everlightsolar.com.
The host might be irrelevant, but the conversations aren't.
The type of fashion that you have looks like you ran through a thrift store in 30 seconds and just put together an outfit.
I like to think of myself as a little bit more of a peacock, you know what I mean?
Mr. Irrelevant with Alex Strofe.
We all know you're very famous for your Sunday Night Football intro, right? Brian Bulaga, Awa.
I never thought I was saying it weird to begin with, but then when I watched myself back, especially when it first happened, I was like, man.
Mr. Irrelevant with Alex Strofe. Available wherever you get your podcasts.
ESPN Madison is on Wisconsin Sports. Catch up on anything you missed on the Varsity Podcast on Wisconsin On Demand. Brought to you by Zimbrick Honda, a proud supporter of Wisconsin Badger Athletics. If you're looking to purchase, finance, or service a new or pre-owned Honda, shop local, part of the Madison community since 1973.
Hey, it's Stacy Bruner from Bruner Realty. People have been telling me that buying a home is nothing to joke about, so instead of telling you another real estate joke, I'm going to have somebody else do it.
Jesse Nelson here. Why did the real estate agent buy a skateboard? So he could flip it.
Come on, Jesse, this is no laughing matter.
Well, when it's time to get serious about buying or selling, that's when people should do what we did and work with you.
Contact us at BrunerRealtyInc.com. Bruner Realty, homes to appreciate.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
Liberty Station American Tavern and Smokehouse isn't just a barbecue restaurant. Fish fry, walleye, and vegetarian options are available, and they have a menu that's sure to please everyone. Liberty Station smokes their meats daily with a 1,000-gallon custom smoker, giving you the freshest experience possible. Enjoy happy hour with daily discounts on both food and drinks at their large bar with 20 draft taps and multiple TVs to watch the big game. Be sure to check out their sprawling patio with an indoor and outdoor porch area too. Liberty Station off the Beltline on Rimrock Road.
Metro Ford of Madison is Madison's trusted Ford dealership. Whether you're in the market for a new or new-to-you vehicle, Metro Ford of Madison has the customer service that's second to none. Metro Ford is also the home of the 2 years no-charge maintenance offer on new vehicle purchases, making it the place to go for the new Ford of your dreams. Browse their inventory, schedule a service, or see this month's offers at MetroFordOfMadison.com. That's MetroFordOfMadison.com.
When severe weather hits and the power goes out, do you have a plan? For reliable power and peace of mind, propane can do that. It only takes about 10 seconds for a propane-powered generator to restore power to your home. So no matter what Mother Nature has in store, you know you're prepared. Learn more at WIPGA.org. This message is sponsored by your local propane provider and the Wisconsin Propane Education and Research Council.
Tito's wants to make sure you have the best tailgate on the block. Win game day gear by entering to win at titostailgate.com. Enter by November 15th for your chance to win a Solo Stove Grill or a Brewmate. For official rules, visit titostailgate.com. Must be 21 plus to enter.
I got the magic in me. Every time I touch that track, it turns into
allowed me to reflect on what we have in Milwaukee as a city and play baseball in. And what I said to the group is we've lost Craig, but Craig has lost us and our community also.
That is Brewers owner Mark Attanasio with Greg Matzik and John Mercure on our sister station 620 WTMJ yesterday on Wisconsin's Afternoon News. We have lost Craig Counsell. He is now the manager of the Chicago Cubs, and the Brewers are in the market for a manager. You can listen to the entirety of that conversation on 620WTMJ.com, where it's an interesting listen. I'll just say that. WTMJ.com/sports is where you can find that. So, again, Tausch, I just want to get some more calls. I want to get to someone who's going to agree with Jesse. Maybe that's next.
I know there's at least one coming up.
Well, let's find out if it's Steve in Middleton. Steve, good morning. How you doing in the aftermath of Craig Counsell's departure to the Cubs?
I am pissed at everybody. First of all, Jen comes on yesterday afternoon and tries to tell fanatics how they should feel about this and comparing it to Uligali kicking a field goal, how we're proud because he's from Wisconsin. We shouldn't be against them, even though it wasn't for our team, which I had no idea what that had to do with anything. Then I'm ticked off at Counsell because he went down there, but he deserves to go wherever he wants. But don't expect me to cheer for him when he comes in with a Cubs uniform on. He's going to get the hell boot out of him because he's got the uniform on. It's nothing personal against him.
Mm-hmm.
And lastly, the owner puts a bunch of money in a soccer team and then does it again, adds on to his investment. But he wants us to help refurbish the stadium. Well, that sucks, and now he leaves the old coaches. He hires them all back, not letting the new manager pick his guys. So I'm just pissed at everybody but you guys because you're saving me a lot of money on a therapist. Thank you.
Hey, before you go, who are you more, if you had to assign a pie chart of blame on this? I think you're most pissed off at Attanasio. Am I reading that correctly?
Yes, because the thing that put me over the edge with him is when he put the money in the soccer team and then he invested even more in it a little while ago. That should be going into the Brewers. I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is.
Steve, great call. We appreciate you. We will put this once we get our Hall of Fame constructed. You know, we'll see how the actual enshrinees go, but we're going to have a wing for best calls. And
Are you
you're
going to try
there.
and get taxpayers to pay for that wing? Or what
I
are we
am,
doing
and then
with
I'm going to move to Malibu and talk about what a great community I have in Green Bay. 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. Got a ton of calls. Keep them coming.
Hey, Jason, throw this poll up. I just who are you more pissed at, Attanasio and the ownership group or Counsell? Because I think if you did this yesterday at 3 in the afternoon, Counsell would have won going away. I think the tide is turning. I think it's going to be more the other way. And I might be wrong on that. I know Jesse would not be that way, but I think that's the way it's going. I do.
All right, I will get that in the field. I was actually in the middle of retweeting the video feed so people could know that we're here for their therapy work. And I wanted to tweet out the link to the full interview that John Mercure and Greg Matzik did with Mark Attanasio, so people know what we're talking
a lot on your
about.
plate this morning.
Yeah, well, that's
Old J-Dub got a lot on his plate.
It tends to be the case. Let's get to one more call here, and then we'll get to more after that. So keep the calls coming because I really do. I'm glad we're able to do this. This is one of my favorite parts of this job is to allow people to work through things. Let's go to Chris in Cedarburg. Chris, good morning. How you feeling today?
I'm okay. I wasn't surprised at his leaving. I mean, obviously he had the feelers out there, and other teams were talking to him and whatnot. But I want to digress for one moment. A question for Jesse. Was this a moment for you yesterday where you had to jump on that Jacko podcast and just say, good?
Good.
Yep. Yes, it was.
That's fun.
I was thinking other four-letter words besides good, but that was one that came to mind, yes.
That was the first word that came out of my mouth. But to get to the I'll go to Tauscher's question that he's dropping out there. I think the blame, there really should be no blame here. Milwaukee's a very, very good mid-market team. We don't have an ownership group that's going to spend money like the Astros or the Dodgers or the Mets or the Yankees or the Cubs. I mean, that's just a matter of fact. So we probably were on borrowed time with Craig, but I think a lot of us put probably too much emphasis on this good old hometown boy. That was going to be the cement that kept him here till retirement.
Mm-hmm.
But he's got the passion to win. He wants another pennant in a World Series ring. So you can't fault him for that. But to the reason you're taking calls here, PT that he's going to be wearing a Cubs uniform. And so the analogy, which is probably a little better than the restaurant analogy, Jesse, I'm sorry, but
just slightly.
Jesse and his wife for a while have decided that this marriage is over and we got to get a divorce. So they walk out of the attorney's office that day, and he gets to his car, he wipes his eyes a little bit, realizes the finality of it, but then he looks across the street, beautiful November day, and he sees his ex-wife, walking down the street, kicking beautiful orange leaves with Tier 1 Terry.
Tyler.
It's just IPT. It's who you picked, or Tier 1 Tyler. It's who you picked. It's not that you picked it.
Yeah.
It's who you went to. And I feel for Jesse, and I need him to just Hakuna Matata. Good. We'll get over it.
There you go.
All right, great call. Couple things. First, Chris bringing up Jocko. I went out yesterday on YouTube and searched Jocko out. And I'm not going to apologize because the way he was presented, I don't know if it was an entirely accurate depiction. He's good.
It's
from a
motivational
tool, he was damn good. I'm a fan.
One could say he's good.
Now, that said, I'm not sure that I got a very clear picture of him. I'd actually seen him do this thing about people talking about you and let them talk. While you're talking, I'll be working. It's really good, too. Not as good as good, but pretty good. Secondly, any shot at Jesse's restaurant analogy is good. Third, I'm intrigued by this idea that, no one's at fault, and this was a relationship where Tier 1 Tucker or Trevor or whoever the Tier 1 guy was. I'm intrigued by that because I do believe that this is and Captain Obvious here, but this is a completely different day. I'm not even sure how much we're talking about this today if he goes to any team other than the Cubs.
I don't think there'd be the passion. The passion behind it, because you feel like you're betrayed.
Yep.
That's where this comes. Because I think everybody understands the money component to this, even though Jesse doesn't want to understand it. I think he does. It's the personal, I'm going to still be able to be in my backyard, and I'm going to come in here, and we're going to wipe the – Craig Counsell's basically saying, this is a better opportunity than what I've had. And now I'm going to come into your stadium that I've complained about having all these Cubs fans coming in a date. And now I'm going to come in here with that group, and we are going to try and snatch your souls.
Mm-hmm.
That is, in essence, what happened. And that's the part that you can be passionate about and everything else. The decision-making and how that all goes into it, yeah, I get that part, man. I do. And I think it's going to be incredibly vitriolic come Memorial Day. Yeah, they had to do those big movie theater, big voice guy, coming Memorial Day, blah, blah, blah.
You better be there. If you're not there, you better be dead or in jail.
Sold out just to get after Craig Counsell, I would venture is going to be the biggest series of the year at AmFam Field.
All right, we need to get some more of your calls, 844-770-3776. We've got a few slots open if you want to get this off your chest. Mark Attanasio talked about community. One guy that I hear talk about the community all the time and has been here for over 35 years is David Gruber. And you can see what Gruber Law Offices does for our community if you go to gruber-law.com. They're extremely involved in all different aspects of our communities. And on top of that, they are here for you if you've been seriously injured in an accident and need legal representation. One call, that's all, and they take care of it. I almost gave us our phone number, 414-276-6666, 414-276-6666. Gruber Law Offices, one call. That's all. More of your calls to 844-770-3776. Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
Mark Tauscher here, reminding you there is no better product and no better taste than the delicious taste of Grassland Butter. With a bunch of early kickoff times this month for our favorite football team, you may be enjoying some more game day tailgates featuring some breakfast options more than usual. Well, if that's the case, be sure to include Grassland Butter as part of your game day spread. Grassland has been producing the highest quality butter from farm to table since 1904. That's more than 5 generations. The key to that success after all these years is the hard work of dairy farmers all across Wisconsin who continue to produce the high-quality ingredients that give Grassland Butter its rich flavor. Thank you, farmers, and thank you, Wisconsin, from Grassland Dairy. Learn more about Grassland's story and check out some creative new recipes to try out before the holidays at grasslandbutter.com. Butter better with better butter. And remember, there is no better product and no better taste than Grassland Dairy. Crafting butter for 5 generations.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
This Badger Minute brought to you by your Badgerland Chevy dealers, proud supporters of Badger Athletics. Go to BadgerlandChevy.com. Former Wisconsin running back turned pro running back and now pro kicker Dario Ogunbowale hit a go-ahead field goal for the Houston Texans after regular kicker Kaimi Fairbairn was injured in Sunday's game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Ogunbowale joined Rutledge and Hamilton on ESPN Madison earlier this week to talk about the experience.
Left halftime a little early, got out there and warmed up. We were kicking, of course, kicking off to start the second half, so I kick it. It was a little short, but we got them down at like the 26-yard line.
Catch the full conversation with Dario Ogunbowale wherever you get your podcasts.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin can dramatically help lower your energy costs year-round. No interest and no down payment for up to 36 months when you order by November 30th. Visit PellaWI.com.
Madison area residents, Ridgetop Exteriors is offering free 101-point inspections for roofing, siding, windows, and gutters due to recent high winds and hail in your area. Call Ridgetop Exteriors today before winter weather sets in or visit ridgetopexteriors.com. That's ridgetopexteriors.com.
Ever wonder how the best athletes find the power to jump higher, cut quicker, skate smoother, drive farther, and stick the landing? At Prevea Orthopedics in Green Bay, we know power starts with the hips. That's why Dr. Michael Ryan and our team of experts provide comprehensive and advanced expertise in hip care, unlike anywhere else. Come to Prevea Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, where we can preserve your hips so you can pursue your goals. Prevea Orthopedics, specializing in you.
Hey, it's Jason Wilde for Associated Bank. Looking for a bank with home field advantage? You got it. At Associated Bank, we're more than just a bank. We're your neighbors. That's why scoring a Packers checking account is the right play for your pay. And here's the kicker. Your Packers debit card gets you 10% off at the Packers Pro Shop. Join the team today. Open your Packers checking account at AssociatedBank.com/Packers. Associated Bank, the bank of the Packers since 1919. Your money works here. Member FDIC.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it yourself at 2 convenient Madison locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. Honda certified technicians handle it all. You can even get flexible payment options. Fix your car now and pay later. Apply online to see your options in seconds with no hard credit check. Make your service appointment online at ZimbrickHonda.com. Zimbrick Honda Service Center on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
Win a Coors Light full court experience with a trip to Minneapolis this March. Sign up now at participating locations around Madison to win an all-inclusive trip to the men's college basketball conference tournament. Don't miss your shot. Enjoy Blue Mountains and the best men's hoops in the Midwest. One lucky winner will be announced on Rutledge and Hamilton on January 8th. Visit Scotty Bar, Lucky's, Jordan Big Ten Pub, Nitty Gritty, Wando's, and Pooley's to scan the QR code and enter today. Must be 21 or older to enter. No purchase necessary.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
All right, the poll is written. I will click post. I used to say tweet in that little box. As long as Tausch agrees with me. A bottom line, no hedging, Wilde and Tausch Twitter /X poll.
First question, I'd say, who the hell's writing this poll? No hedging? That's not a Wilde poll.
If you have to pick one.
Well, then it's all caps you, and you say, oh, that is Wilde.
Yeah, that's true.
I double dipped on it, actually. If you have to pick one, who are you more pissed at that Craig Counsell is now the Cubs manager and not the Brewers manager? Craig Counsell or Mark Attanasio?
Yeah, I'm voting Mark Attanasio.
The poll is in the field. 844-770-3776. 844-770-3776. We still got a ton of calls. Let's get to at least one before the top of the 10 o'clock hour. Let's go to Eric right here in Green Bay. Eric, who are you more pissed at?
Definitely more pissed at Mark Attanasio in this situation. It's kind of weird. Like, you kind of process all these emotions at first, and it's like I'm shocked. I'm surprised at what happened, but at the same time, like, I completely understand every part of this. Like, the fact that the Brewers are thrifty or resourceful or whatever you call it every year, and you look at $2.5 million or $2 million being the difference in contract, and that's the cost of a cheap utility guy, a backup catcher, a middle reliever,
Popcorn money.
It's extremely disappointing that you can't, fund that over, even if it's, obviously the highest paid manager in baseball. If it comes down to $2.5 million for a coach that is constantly overperforming, doing more with less, and getting the most out of his guys, you would think that in this situation, with all the money you're saving on the rest of the roster with a coach that good, the $2.5 million allocated to the coach there would be worth it. So I think there's just that shock factor of obviously going to Chicago and with them already having a coach in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of wanted to piggyback on Jesse's comment earlier of just, Counsell having a legacy and obviously scoring the winning runs and the go-ahead runs in the World Series. I think outside of Arizona fans or Colorado and then and obviously with Milwaukee kind of knowing his story, I don't think the rest of the baseball world knows a lot about Craig Counsell's playing career other than that he had a goofy stance and kind of played for a while. And this opportunity here as a coach is really his opportunity to make a legacy. And, like, I couldn't tell you who Bruce Bochy played for during his career, but I can tell you that he managed 4 World Series. Or Joe Torre, I couldn't tell you who he played for. He played before my day, but I remember him as an awesome manager for the Yankees. And then I guess the last point is when you kind of look at this from Counsell's standpoint, this job with Chicago has to check every possible box. One, obviously, we kind of talked about the salary, and he's getting paid a heck of a lot more. Number 2 is he has the huge payroll to work with. So, again, if he's someone that did more with less, and now you're giving him more. And lastly, he's one of the few coaches in any professional sport that lived in the city or near the city that he managed in. And he can still do that in Chicago. So, like, he's got the commute, he's got the money, he's got the payroll. And on top of it, the Cubs have a very promising farm system, too. So, like, from his standpoint, like, you're kind of throwing out a dream job. And the Brewers had a lot of opportunities to pay up, and they didn't. And it's easy to look next door to Chicago and say, hey, it's like the grass could be way, way greener over there.
Eric, an outstanding call that could have been just a little bit better had you instead piggybacked off Jesse's outstanding analogy of the restaurant. Otherwise, fantastic call.
I'd like to retire the restaurant
That was
analogy.
so bad, Jesse.
It wasn't. Go to Applebee's. Yeah, I'm going to go get that good 2 for $6 plate that they got.
He's fancy like Applebee's. All right, we need to get to the 10 o'clock hour. 844-770-3776. Tausch is going to tell us about Tito's, and then we're going to take more of your calls at the top of the 10 o'clock hour. Tausch saw our friend Courtney a couple weeks ago from Tito's. Tito's is always there for us, especially when we do our Green Bay game day.
Yeah, and we can take it to the house this season and enjoy tailgating from your own backyard. Tito's wants to make sure you have the best tailgate on the block. You can win game day gear for your next gathering by entering to win at Tito'sTailgate.com. Be sure to enter by November 15th for your chance to win a Solo Stove Grill, a Brewmate back tap for batch cocktails, or a Tito's football jersey. For official rules, visit Tito'sTailgate.com. Must be 21 to enter. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
More of your calls to start the 10 o'clock hour in 2 minutes. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Ben Brust here to tell you about the Princeton Club. I joined the Princeton Club because I was looking for a place I could invest in my health, and the environment and the community I have felt has made it so easy for me to incorporate it into my everyday life. It doesn't matter where you're at in your fitness journey because they have something to offer everyone. It also goes beyond fitness. From the moment you walk in the club to the moment you walk out, there is a togetherness felt throughout the members and staff that keeps you going for your better tomorrow. Don't wait any longer and get started on your fitness journey today at PrincetonClub.net. That's PrincetonClub.net.
Hi, this is Dave Kane. You're listening to Madison's Home of the Bucks, a good Karma brand radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX, Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. I'm Irritated. Sports Center brought to you by Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison for generations. Check them out at 220 State Street and online at goodmansjewelers.com. Irritated because Craig Counsell is now the manager of the Chicago Cubs, the former Brewers manager of 9 seasons, agreeing to a record $8 million a year deal with the rival Cubs yesterday. First reported by Ken Rosenthal of The Athletic. Brewers owner Mark Ananazio appearing on 620 WTMJ saying this yesterday afternoon.
It's allowed me to reflect on what we have in Milwaukee as a city and play baseball in. And, what I said to the group is we've lost Craig, but Craig has lost us and our community also.
Reactions continuing on Wilde and Tausch here on 100.5 ESPN, including Sylvie, Mark Silverman of Waddle and Sylvie, ESPN 1000 in Chicago, scheduled to appear at 11:15 this morning. College basketball, a record night at the Kohl Center in the first game of the season last night. Wisconsin scores 105 points in a win over Arkansas State.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Just climbing this rope right here. And if there's a man upstairs, he kept bringing me rain. But I've been sending up prayers and something's changed. I think I finally found my hallelujah. I've been waiting for this moment all my life. Now all my dreams are coming.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch. Your official Wisconsin sports fan therapists. Interesting tweet from our old pal, Matt Coonan. See this?
I did not.
It's July 20th, 2021. The Bucks have just won a chip, or a ship, he says.
I remember that.
You tell me that in 2 years, Bud and Drew will be gone, Dame would be in, Rodgers would be a Jet, Stearns is a Met, Counsell is making bank for the Cubs. Christ is out. Fickle is in. I would wonder how sane you were. To which I replied, life comes at you fast if you're a Wisconsin sports fan.
Good line.
Eddie Lacy.
I would say, good. Good.
Good.
That's what I would say.
844-770-3776. Let's get to your calls. Let's start with Rock in one of my favorite places in all the world, DeForest, Wisconsin. Rock, good morning. How are you today?
great, pissed off, ornery. It's unbelievable. I mean, you sit back, and I get the money thing. Do we really think he was hurting for money to begin with? That's number one. Number two, Attanasio was maybe 20% at fault for this. I'll go with that part of it. But seriously, the Cubs, my God, it's a kick in the you-know-what to all small market teams. And then you go to the Cubs, of all people. Hey, Glenn and Big Ben, move to Illinois. It just sucks. It sucks. It sucks. It sucks.
Rock, I think you are one of a lot of people that feel this way. So tell me this. He goes to the Astros to replace a retiring Dusty Baker. He goes to the Mets and joins Stearns. How differently do you feel today than you actually do because he went to the Cubs?
Honestly, I would be much better off with that. I mean, even the Astros are cheaters. But, I mean, I'd be much better. I mean, it's the Cubs. You can't do that. That's wrong. I mean,
but he did.
Packs his bags and moves to Illinois. You know what? He should pack his house up and move his family to Illinois, too. I mean, you hate to say that, but good God, it's the Cubs.
It's just and Tausch, the minute, and great call, Rock. Thanks for the call.
Before, just wait. Is Rock still there? I
think we still got him. Rock, you there?
Hey, Rock, let me ask you this. Would it have mattered if Craig Counsell went back to Attanasio and said, hey, the Cubs are going to pay me $8, you pay me $8, I'll stay?
It's a tough one there. I mean, but honestly, do we really think the money's the issue here? I mean, the guy has played professional ball. He's set. I mean, what's a few extra million?
Well,
I mean, I wish I had that problem to deal with it, but
me too.
Unfortunately, I don't. I mean,
now, Rock,
I mean, but good gosh, it's the Cubs.
Tausch, you've explained this before, though. In professional sports, money is respect.
It's respect. Yeah.
And
I legitimately think that's it's the part of him. I think the managers as a whole felt like they were underpaid. College managers were making more money than some professional managers. When you start getting into the SEC schools, and I think Counsell takes a little pride in that. But yes, this was I think a total money always matters. And I know, Rock, you could say, well, $1.5 million. You got a lot of money. People with a lot of money like making more money. But they even more so want that respect that comes with making the most money.
Right.
And that's where that lies. But I agree. I don't think it was necessarily all about the money. I don't think that – normally I always will tell you, ask me a question about sports, why someone did something, and I'll tell you it's money. Why are the Badgers playing against Nebraska at 6:30 at night? Money. It's fairly obvious.
Right.
That's what this always comes back to. But I do think in this case, the scenario and the fact that nothing was done the year before that was to Craig's liking, I think that's why I made the Devontae comp, because I think it's eerily similar in the respect that, all right, you don't really value me like I thought you did or I hoped you did. Yep. So once I get to free agency, blank off. And that's that's what happened with Craig Counsell.
It was really good. 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. If the money is exactly the same, do you think he stays? Or do you still think he goes? I think he goes still. I think he still goes.
I think and I'm guessing they knew that, and that's why this whole scenario didn't play out the way it did.
All right, let's keep going with the calls. Let's go to John in Mequon. John, good morning. How are you today?
Good morning. How are you guys?
Well, we're great,
Long-time
except
listener,
for Jesse.
first-time caller.
Oh, great. What do you got for us?
Well, it's sort of funny to hear people say, no, it's just not that much more. If you have that much, what's a lot more? And I think Tausch hit it on the head. I think it's respect. And as far as, you shouldn't leave because you're loyal. I mean, if I'm not supposed to mention probably another radio, but if my heart offered, our heart, whatever it is, offered Jesse 2.5 times what he was making now, he might consider going to Applebee's instead of that favorite restaurant.
Now, hang on.
I think
can I address this for a minute? Because I like making money too, John. But here's the thing that I hate about that argument, because I've heard that
Oh,
you're not
here
the
we
first
go.
one who's brought this up.
You're the one who
Rand,
started
get
it.
Yeah, you did, Jesse. John, get him. Don't be afraid to push back on
I'm
him.
retiring the
You're the one who
Applebee's
started
thing.
it.
Here's the thing. If
Okay, let's hear it.
you're
Yeah, I should have said Chili's. I'm sorry.
Chili's honey chipotle chicken crispers. I'm not opposed. If you have grown up your entire life in the Milwaukee area, you get the opportunity of a lifetime to be the hometown hero that's managing that team, and then you willingly choose to leave that team to take the big payday from the arch rival, you're devaluing your legacy and your impact on the community by saying, I'm going to go to the Chicago team, and it just derails everything that you've accomplished in Milwaukee over your entire lifetime. It's like Favre to the
First of
Vikings
all,
in that
he left
sense.
Milwaukee. He left Milwaukee when he was 18 years old, when he went to South Bend, to, God forbid, to Notre Dame. How much worse could it be than to go into Notre Dame in a lot of people's eyes?
Notre Dame's not the
So
Cubs.
he did that. He then went to X number of other teams, and he was here for 9 years. 9 years. And what people don't think about, and they all talk about, that he's leaving and everything else, I know there's a heck of a lot of kids who are very happy that he was here, because without anyone knowing it, he would go after games and visit kids in Children's Hospital. So there's a whole side of this that I don't think a lot of people think about. And as far as the $2.5 million that Antanasio couldn't give up, I can understand that. That's a lot of money for him. But mentioning Antanasio, who the heck is he to tell me, as a citizen of this community, that Counsell has lost me? I think that is one of the most amazing things.
Mm-hmm.
He sounded honestly like a lover who was spurned by the homecoming queen the next day. And this is a guy who's worth millions. What right does he have to say that you have lost the community? I just think that is so presumptuous of him. And as far as, I get going to the Cubs. I couldn't understand it. I was shocked. And I obviously wish he wasn't going there. I wish he was staying here. And I think the operative questions have been asked if he went to Cleveland or if he went someplace else. I get being upset. But you know what? This is a guy, and, somebody said no matter how much money, he's got enough money and everything else. You don't know what he's going to do with that money. You don't know that he might put a wing onto a hospital someday or things like that. I just can't understand people who think that they would turn down. If you offered that gentleman a raise, say he's making $50 an hour, somebody comes to him and says, I'll pay you $75, and he's been with the company for 20 years. Is he wrong to take that job, the other job?
Deuces, B.
And in essence,
Right.
that's what's happened.
Just like Jesse would drop us like a hot potato if he got 2.5 times his current salary. He would bail on us like nobody's business. John, you should call more often instead of texting me during the show. I love you, buddy.
Loss.
Thanks for making time for us.
It would be your loss. Have a good day. Sorry I didn't make the Hall of Fame.
Boy, big Jesse fan. And your analogy sucks, but he likes your work as producer.
I like the turn there at the end. That was
John
nice.
could not be a kinder human, and that's why I love him.
The difference. So, look,
Jesse, you have to. All right, where would the radio station have to be?
No, the comp, and Lord knows it's not been my day for making analogies.
It has not.
If I became the play-by-play voice of the Bradley Braves, my alma mater, and I went to college there, and I sought other opportunities, and I worked my way in the industry, and then ultimately got to have that job. And Peoria, Illinois doesn't pay quite as well as another big city might, but wow, is that a fun thing. And for years and years and years, Bradley gets to the NCAA tournament. They're so close. And then one day, the University of Illinois shows up and says, we're going to pay you 3 times as much. Come be our guy. And I say, deuces, B. I'm going to Illinois. Like, that would be what it is. No, I wouldn't.
You would stay at Bradley for 1/3 of the pay.
I wouldn't go to a school that
Get
no
out of here.
No.
You would stay at and
there's an
Illinois could be the next step for you to be doing CBS March Madness games on television, but you're staying at Bradley.
Not if I'm 53 years old. No, if I'm 53 years old and I've spent my entire career working my way up to become the voice of the Bradley Braves, and I've done that for 15 years, 10 years, 9 years, like Counsell has, and you're at the point where either I get to continue to ride this out with Bradley and be the voice of this team forever, or I get to go to the arch rival or the big school in the state that doesn't look at us like a rival, but we find them a rival.
Jesse,
no.
Jesse, I think your emotions are speaking for you.
No, there's an intangible thing to your legacy that maybe I just value more than other people. There's an intangible thing of being the hometown school or the one that's most connected to you, the team that you're most affiliated with.
All right, stop. I want to get some more calls. But you are from Muskego, Wisconsin. Let's say our buddy Jeff Levering says, deuces B, I'm going to go be the Cubs play-by-play guy. Craig loves me. And he says, Jesse, you're the guy. And you get to be like the third guy on the totem pole. I think he's second, but be that as it may, he's the one who's our friend. But you got Euchre, you got the other guy, you got Jesse.
Dream job, yeah, dream job.
And then, I don't know, pick your team. The Minnesota Twins, the Chicago White Sox, whoever, calls and says, we really like the cut of this young guy's jib, and they're going to pay you 3 times what the Brewers are paying you to be the number 3 guy, and you're really going to say no.
Nope.
Your parents have moved to Boca Vista in Florida, so they're not sitting there. George is not going to the games. He's not ushering people to their seats. You're turning...
No.
I don't believe you.
It's a dream.
No.
It's a dream
Better
scenario.
question.
Dream job.
Better question. Jesse, same thing. The Brewers offer you this dream gig. You're going to be Levering's guy. But you have to live in McWanago. You have to live in McWanago in order to do it.
This has nothing to do with Craig Counsell going to the Cubs at this point.
No, you have to live in McWanago. Do you do it? And you have to your kids will have to go to school in McWanago and compete against Muskego.
Yeah.
Are you doing it?
I don't know. I couldn't.
All
no.
right. I'd like to get to some more of our calls. Spend less time talking to Jesse.
I just think,
juncture.
guys, to put a bow on this part of it, I think it is incredibly easy to say all these things.
Totally.
And then
agree.
it's a whole different ball game when you got a big old contract sitting in front of you, or you have this opportunity and you're sitting there talking to Becca, and you get Irick and the whole mortgage crew on the board and said, gosh, I can get this spot. I'm going to make 3x my money. And you're telling me, no, I'm going to stay because I don't.
Because I love the Bradley Braves.
It's an insane premise that I know you want to believe that, Jesse. I do. I think you want to. But I think you also are dreaming of the day that actually you get to make that decision. And I'll be fascinated if you get to that point in your life.
What if Fortria calls you, Jesse, and offers you 3 times your salary to do a variety of 18 to 49
No,
BMI
there's another clinical trial that'll pay you 6x, but I'm loyal to Fortria. I know
Damn right I am.
Fortria clinical trials. If you're looking to pick up a little extra spending cash, or you're trying to get a little extra money to keep Craig Counsell in Milwaukee, hit Fortria's clinical studies. Healthy adults ages 18 to 60 with a body mass index of 18 to 32. Study involves 2 stays of 15 nights with 7 follow-ups, and you can be compensated $13,820 for your time, plus $300 per qualified participant. They also have a trial. You're looking healthy males and females, ages 18 to 55. Females must be of non-childbearing potential. BMI of 18.5 to 32. That study is 1 stay of 9 nights, and you compensated up to $4,055. Go to FortriaClinicalTrials.com. That's Fortria, Fortrea, clinicaltrials.com.
844-770-3776.
I'd just like to take a little bit less if I could. I'd much rather if you could.
Jesse, you know who you need to get a hold of is your old friend Latrell Sprewell, who taught us, and you guys were hanging out together at Joe Katz or wherever you were, that we make a lot of money, but we spend a lot of money too. We'll get some more of your calls next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Zimbrick Chevrolet.
When was the last time you had your oil changed or your tires rotated? Do you need new tires, a battery, perhaps some windshield wipers? Zimbrick Chevrolet Service Center is equipped to help you with routine maintenance, major repairs, and everything in between. Get your free battery inspection coupon and schedule an appointment today at ZimbrickChevrolet.com. Don't overpay. Shop Zimbrick Chevrolet on Main Street in Sun Prairie.
Main Street, Sun Prairie, Zimbrick Chevrolet.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
Ever wonder how the best athletes find the power to jump higher, cut quicker, skate smoother, drive farther, and stick the landing? At Purveyor Orthopedics in Green Bay, we know power starts with the hips. That's why Dr. Michael Ryan and our team of experts provide comprehensive and advanced expertise in hip care, unlike anywhere else. Come to Purveyor Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, where we can preserve your hips so you can pursue your goals. Purveyor Orthopedics, specializing in you.
Everywhere you look, from groceries to utilities to gas, prices keep going up. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin can dramatically help lower your energy costs year-round by replacing drafty windows and doors in as little as 6 weeks. And now you can save even more by taking advantage of no interest and no down payment for up to 36 months when you order by November 30th. Set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details on rents 11/30/2023.
Hey, it's Bobby Portis, and I love playing basketball in Milwaukee. When I drive down the lane, I move fast and make sudden moves to drive to the hoop and score. But when I'm behind the wheel in the driving lane, I control my drive. I don't speed or make sudden movements. Speeding and reckless driving are the leading causes of traffic injuries and deaths in Wisconsin. Do what I do. Control your drive. Don't speed. Don't be reckless. Zero in Wisconsin. Together we can save lives. Wisconsin DOT.
The GRB Rays have established themselves as one of the top baseball programs in the Midwest and the country. GRB Academy offers training programs for players of all ages and skill levels. Learn from some of the best baseball coaches in the area and find the program that fits your training goals and your schedule. Spots are filling up fast, so visit grbacademy.com to sign up now. That's grbacademy.com. GRB Academy, baseball for the serious player.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do it with a Coors Light. Mountain cold refreshment made to chill. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
If you're looking for a special piece of jewelry for any occasion, Condon Jewelers is always there for you. Condon Jewelers has the best selection of jewelry you'll ever find and guaranteed to have the lowest prices in the Madison area. Free shipping is always available. Visit CondonJeweler.com or call 241-3406 and ask for Jim, the owner, who's at the store every day. Shop locally. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
All right, we got to be quick here because I know there's a bunch of you that still want to get in, and we got the Badgers Outsider coming up and everything else. So, let's get to your calls right away.
Let's get in a better mood and talk about Badger football. Yeah.
Meanwhile, Jesse's just getting killed by everyone. Let's go to Bill in Madison, see if he gets after Jesse, too. Bill, good morning. How you doing today?
Good. I'm great. How are you guys?
Good. All right, who are you mad at?
Nobody really. I think, to me, kind of Counsell is a little bit like Aaron Rodgers, a little bit in the national media where he kind of gets a pass. I think Aaron Rodgers has kind of gotten a pass for his playoff performances the last 3 years, and it just kind of gets brushed over. And Counsell, in 19 was 0-1 in the playoffs. In 20, he was 0-2. 21, he was 1-3. In 22, they lost 3 of their last 4 games to the Marlins to not make the playoffs. And this year he was 0-2, so he's 1-8 over the last 5 years. So I don't know. I'm not overly disappointed, and I think it's kind of cool that he's going there to even bump up this rivalry a little more.
All right. Well, that is a calm and reasoned take that we have no room for on our show today. So thank you for your call, Bill. We appreciate it.
Whoa, Nelly!
All right, let's get to one more. Let's get to Mike in Madison. Mike, good morning. How you doing today?
Good morning. So I guess my take on this, and I'm not a stats guy. I'm just turn the Brewers on, enjoy the game guy. But I think Craig Counsell is a quality person. So what he does with his time and his money, that's all up to him. We've been lucky to be a part of his legacy. It goes back to the World Series stories and scoring winning runs and all that good stuff. But everybody's got to remember that baseball is a fickle business, and
comes at you fast.
He could be somebody could dig up some sort of dirt, start a rumor, whatever. You could have money issues within the organization, and the first guy to get chopped is going to be your manager. So he's got to look out for himself. We love him. That's not going to change. After the cool-down period, it's not going to change. And I think Bill was right. I think this is going to strengthen that rivalry.
Oh, yeah.
Which, hey, man, sports are supposed to be fun. Let's don't persecute the guy for doing something that we all would.
Except for Jesse.
Except
for Jesse, he wouldn't do this.
So okay, so there's a lot of haters, a lot of short-sighted people, but I see Tausch as every man's man. He's just, probably kicking back with a beer and having a good time.
Coors Light, yeah.
You're the intelligent guy. You're the guy that goes, gathers the stats, makes the relationships. And Jesse, somebody's got to sit in that booth and push buttons.
Pretty good. That's a pretty good summary of where we're at, I think.
The delivery was amazing.
That's my spin. I know Derek Blakesley. I knew him from grade school and high school. I went to school in Reedsburg. But anyway.
Should he be in the Hall of Fame? Should he be in the Reedsburg Hall of Fame?
He should be in he's not just the Wisconsin Badgers outsider. He also could have been the Webb High School outsider because he was always on the fringes. I'm a few years older, but we have a lot of mutual friends. And he hung with some guys that were really good athletes, and Derek was always like the guy, nope, that's wrong. Joe Rockhead rushed for 103 yards that game, not 105. He knew the stats. He was pretty funny back then.
He's a nerd. He's a nerd, is what you're saying. In essence, you're saying he's a nerd.
Okay. Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
He was. If I remember right, he was a little bit smaller than everybody, a little bit skinny, and his stripes always ran
slower.
The long way.
Yeah,
sure.
No quick twitch, yeah.
Mike, thanks for the call.
Everything there adds up. That all adds up as far as what the rest of that Reedsburg crew says too. So that makes sense.
Mike just took a torch to our show.
He did. He blew everything up.
Tausch and me.
Well, I mean, he kind of said you're more intelligent than me, which of course irritates me. But I was all right with Mike's.
No lies were detected. All right, so Derek Blakesley.
How about David Ross taking over as the Brewers manager, and we just say, let's just get this.
Oh yeah, let's do it. I like
it's just
that
gonna
idea,
be
actually.
just absolute bloodbath. Why not?
Sludge
pay him
match,
$1.5 million,
some
bucks,
might say.
Pay him $1.5 million, $6.5 less than Counsell, and we go sweep those boys. What do you think? I'm on board.
All right. Derek Blakesley is in the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios. I know he'll have an opinion on this. He will also defend his Reedsburg High School Hall of Fame credentials at some point, and we will talk about the Badgers' loss in Bloomington on Saturday as well. The Badgers Outsider, presented by PDS, is coming up next after Tausch tells us about Prize Picks. Did you go last night? Bucks, Nets?
No dabbling last night. I'm a Taco Tuesday guy. Today's Tuesday, right? It's Badgers Tuesday. It's Taco
It
Tuesday.
is, indeed.
It's Prize Picks Tuesday. Daily fantasy sports made easy. It's pretty simple. I go with 3 players. You can pick between 2 and 6. If you go to 6, you can get 25x on your entry, and you're not competing against other people. Just you and Prize Picks' projections. You got a bunch of stuff going on right now. You got Euro basketball. You got hockey. You got NBA. And entries can be made in 60 seconds or less. Got this little cross-promotion thing going, too. I've been looking at Dame and Giannis, trying to partner that up with Jordan Love and Aaron Jones, and, of course, my guy Tay Wicks, who I'm excited to continue to play with. You can use that promo code WI. Download the Prize Picks app. You put 100 in, Prize Picks gives you 100. Again, use the promo code WI for that 100% deposit match up to 100 bones.
Derek Blakesley, the Badgers Outsider, and apparently a nerd. Next, presented by PDS, it's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Hey, Drew Scott here, and I'm Jonathan Scott, reminding you that life's better with a home policy from American Family Insurance. They can help you get just the right protection at just the right price and help you save when you bundle home and auto. Kind of like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. It'll be just right for you. We love a custom build. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
Ben Brust here to tell you about why your next work van should be from Mercedes-Benz Sprinter at Zimbrick European. First off, we have versatility. The Sprinter vans offer 16 body types and thousands of ways to customize that space. Number 2, we have reliability. Sprinter's most powerful diesel engines last longer and require less maintenance, spend more time on the road and less time in those bays. Number 3, we have safety. Sprinter's safety technologies include curtain airbags all around, load adaptive electronic stability program, and crosswind and attention assist. Number 4, Van Care Mobile. Our maintenance team can come to you with routine service. Who wants to go in? Let them come to you. They work with multiple trucks on one visit. Use the Mercedes Me Connect. And last but not least, get your Zimbrick Sprinter at Zimbrick European at Rimrock Road and the Beltline, or go online at ZimbrickEuropean.com because they never charge over the MSRP.
From color-changing alexandrite to shimmering zircon and everything in between at Chalmers Jewelers, you'll find high-quality, affordable, one-of-a-kind pieces. We source straight from the gem cutters, and we manufacture in-house from start to finish. As the manufacturer, we believe in truth in pricing. Never pay more for quality and stunning, beautiful jewelry. She's one of a kind, and so should her jewelry be. While others may send your jewelry dreams to someone else to make, with us, your dreams become reality with the help of our custom jewelers, with you involved the whole way. With a staff that has over 200 years of combined experience, why buy from a place that marks up jewelry made by the thousands? When you can buy direct from Chalmers for that one-of-a-kind piece that is better quality, often for less.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
And Madison.
Take it to the house this season and enjoy tailgating from your own backyard. Tito's wants to make sure you have the best tailgate on the block. You can win game day gear for your next gathering by entering to win at titostailgate.com. Be sure to enter by November 15th for your chance to win a Solo Stove Grill, a Brewmate back tap for batch cocktails, or a Tito's football jersey. For official rules, visit titostailgate.com. Must be 21 years old to enter. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
Big trailers and big opportunity. Since 1962, Stoughton Trailers has been a family-owned and operated business. With competitive wages and excellent benefits, plus growth and advancement opportunities, Stoughton Trailers is an exciting place to grow your career. Join the collaboration, innovation, and dynamic team atmosphere at Stoughton Trailers, with positions now open in production, operations, finance, sales, engineering, supply chain, and more. Go to stojobs.com to apply today. Stoughton Trailers, big opportunity.
The Badgers Outsider on Wilde and Tausch is presented by PDS, a Converge company, providing IT solutions and transforming IT for area companies for more than 30 years. Find what solutions they can offer you at pdsit.net.
I feel bad because Derek caught some strays there on that last call. I'm not sure they were deserved. We'll have to find out. Joining us now.
Better than the direct hits.
You did take some direct hits, and the delivery was magnificent by Mike and Madison. But the delivery is always great, too, from this guy. We love having him as our Badgers Outsider, and he's presented, Tausch, by PDS.
He is. PDS has been providing technology solutions and transforming IT for area companies for over 30 years. PDS is giving today's worker the true ability to work from anywhere as they balance work and life. PDS wants to be your trusted partner in driving success with enterprise solutions, digital workplace platforms, and managed services that fit your needs. PDS, Paragon Development Systems.
Derek, good morning. How are you today?
It's been a real roller coaster, and then a little shock to the system. I think the title of today's show should be "You Think You Know Someone." You think you know people. Wow, it's been an eventful 24 hours, and for what seems to be far too many times, my career 30 years ago brought into question.
Yeah, he didn't help your
So,
cause.
DP,
what
did you think
for the Hall of
yesterday?
Fame.
What did you think when you heard the news?
I think in Milwaukee, I'm trying to talk about something in a different perspective than we've already had on the show.
Thank you.
When you play in Milwaukee, in our market, loyalty means something, right? I think there's thoughts about character, about Chicago being about the me, and Milwaukee, Packers, that kind of being more about the we.
Yeah.
And when you go to a game, there's the underlying insecurity when we play the Cubs about, those guys coming up here and spending the big money and being rude in the parking lots, and when they come up to their cabins in the summer, the way they drive, the way they bully, and we don't like it. I don't like it, and I didn't like it yesterday. It reminded me, and now I'm starting to get heated because I was like, it's sports. It is what it is. He could have gone to any other team. He could have gone anywhere. And he let an egotistical type of disagreement over time, whatever that is, with with Mark. Atanasio.
With who?
He turned that into where he puts his thumbs in his ears and go, na boo boo, Mark. But it doesn't hurt Mark. He hurts all of us. And it reminds me of the Godfather scene when Frank Pantangeli is going to turn on Mike, and he's in front of that panel, and they fly his brother in from Sicily and has him sit there. And before Frank Pantangeli turns on the Corleones, he looks at his brother looks at him, and all of a sudden, he doesn't say anything because he changes his tune. I think we should buy tickets at every major league city behind the dugout and put Rockin' Robin and Raleigh Fingers and whoever sit there, so when he comes walking off the field, he has to stare at what he turned his back against. And left us high and dry for money, I agree, money he doesn't need. And from I'm like a lot of the other callers, I'm mad at everybody. From our owner that pretends he has money that apparently he doesn't have. The guy's an asset manager. He made his money managing assets. He didn't make his money helping anybody win anything. He just optimizes his own wealth, and he's not a winner. I don't like any of it.
What is happening right now?
I'm not happy about the Brewers. And it makes it worse because I was insulted before I came on. I just can't believe it. I saw the Cubs yesterday, and you check to see if it's satire. Why would he do that?
I thought it was the Onion. Would you like to, since you're on a roll, would you also like to defend your high school sporting resume as a fringe guy who apparently corrected the stats?
He basically had you as like the statistician that was like plugging numbers and being analytical throughout your high school career.
Let me put it this way.
High school.
Statisticians don't have 8 letters, 3 times all-conference, and played in the state tournament. They don't have those.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, okay. Well, I want to be ready for my nomination.
I'm academically, I was strong. I had a little nerd in me. That's why I'm here today. I don't begrudge that. I wasn't great. Like I said, I peaked in that 10 to 14 age range. After that, it was a little bit downhill, especially in basketball. So I'll take it. I was more worried someone comes on and says I was a terrible person, but that seems to be that's Craig Counsell and Mark Ignacio today. I can't pronounce the name. So I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it.
Okay. Well, we appreciate your insights into that. The mispronouncing the owner's last name and then just calling him Mark was beautiful. That was
my friend Mark, who's really involved in the communities around all the time.
I did not think that was the best route to go, but that's just me. All right, we want to talk Badgers with you though, because we've become kind of a therapy for Wisconsin sports fans of late. I feel like there's some Badgers fans that could use it at this juncture too. Maybe you yourself.
Yeah, I think we got to be patient. That's the word that comes to mind. Obviously, it's this season's dead. We're not going to change the way we call plays. We don't have the folks to do that effectively in order for us to get the yards after catch in space and even to get open. The reality is that we've jumped the shark here. And I mentioned it last week. The season is entertaining. We watch the games. We need to be, it's the entertainment. It's great. But what college football is really about is getting enough money together, and it's a marketing and sales organization that recruiting is where it is all at. If Phil Longo has 11 players out there and he's got better athletes at 8 or 9 of the spots, then his offense is going to work. If he doesn't get to that point, whatever number that looks like for how many guys you have to have that are better athletes than the guys across the ball, you figure out where that is, where we hit the tipping point and we can be productive. But this is all done. The development is out the window. This is about recruiting, getting in the portal, and recruiting folks to come in that are better athletes than the folks around. And that's why you have a sexier offense, a sexier practice field, fundraising effort, and everything else is to attract better talent for more depth and better athleticism.
We'll talk more about this because I had an interesting conversation in the locker room yesterday with Lucas Van Ness, who obviously is an Iowa guy, and they are moving on from Kirk Ferentz's son, looking to try and do the same things, and questions about whether it's actually going to work. We'll talk more about the Badgers and their loss at Indiana with the Badgers outsider Derek Blakesley next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
You, rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
This Badger Minute brought to you by Stoughton Trailers. Big trailers and big opportunity at Stoughton Trailers. Positions now open in production, operations, finance, sales, engineering, supply chain, and more. To apply today, go to stojobs.com. Former Wisconsin running back turned pro running back and now pro kicker Dario Gonbawale hit a go-ahead field goal for the Houston Texans after regular kicker Kaimi Fairbairn was injured in Sunday's game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Ogunbowale joined Rutledge and Hamilton on ESPN Madison earlier this week to talk about the experience.
Left halftime a little early, got out there and warmed up. We were kicking, of course, we kicking off to start the second half. So I kick it a little short, but we got them down at like the 46-yard line.
Catch the full conversation with Dario Gonbawale wherever you get your podcasts.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin can dramatically help lower your energy costs year-round. No interest and no down payment for up to 36 months when you order by November 30th. Visit PellaWI.com.
The GRB Rays have established themselves as one of the top baseball programs in the Midwest and the country. GRB Academy offers training programs for players of all ages and skill levels. Learn from some of the best baseball coaches in the area and find the program that fits your training goals and your schedule. Spots are filling up fast, so visit grbacademy.com to sign up now. That's grbacademy.com. GRB Academy, baseball for the serious player.
Grassland Dairy is built by tradition right here in Wisconsin and sustained by innovation. Since 1904, the Wheatrick family has worked with hundreds of dairy farmers to consistently produce the highest quality dairy products. Grassland's commitment to quality starts with the way their dairy farmers care for their cows and carries through every step of their innovative processing and delivery. They are proud to offer a wide range of reliable and nutritious dairy ingredients. Grassland Dairy is family owned in Wisconsin and has been crafting butter for 5 generations.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Spend Black Friday at Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison and you got a chance to make it a Cash Friday. On Friday, November 24th from 5 to 8 p.m., 21 winners will spin the prize wheel and take home between $500 and $5,000 cash each in our Cash Friday promotion. Plus, November 24th is Ho-Chunk Day, and we're celebrating by giving the first 500 guests that visit our Rewards Club booth $25 in rewards play. Make Cash Friday part of your holiday tradition at Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison.
Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side. When you see Diamond Jim, you can count on him to be on your side. Selection beyond compare with on-site repair, so you can wear your jewelry with pride. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
Tito's wants to make sure you have the best tailgate on the block. Win game day gear by entering to win at titostailgate.com. Enter by November 15th for your chance to win a Solo Stove Grill or a Brewmate. For official rules, visit titostailgate.com. Must be 21 plus to enter.
Continuing with the Badgers Outsider, Derek Blakesley, presented by PDS. Derek, you painted a really bleak picture of college football for me there, and I remember we've painted together some real Van Goghs of bleakness about college football previously, right? As the NIL and transfer portal became part of it, and whether Wisconsin would be left behind. And now you're basically painting a picture for me in which they went and got the kind of coach that you thought would be perfect for winning in this era, and you're saying that unless you can do the right marketing and sales pitches with enough money, it ain't going to matter.
Well,
and I'm a little bit apprehensive about that, and then I'll let you finish. I'm sorry. No. I'm a little worried because the whole idea was to make sure that we didn't turn into the also-rans who didn't know what the heck we were doing in this brave new world.
No, I think you misunderstand there, because I think that's what Fickell brings. Is Fickell comes in and can do the secondary and tertiary parts of the job that I don't think Paul wanted to do. He works with the administration. He can work well with the NIL groups. He can do the things to help set the infrastructure in place to be more attractive to the better athletes from across the country to come and play here. So he plays a role in fundraising. He plays a role in relationships at the administrative level to make sure we can get guys in that can give us the advantages we need. And also part of that is why you bring in a Phil Longo. I don't think you get Mabry Medower coming in next year if you don't have that kind of offense in place. The promise of an exciting offense to play in and to learn in. So those things, besides just talking about what we're learning in practice and what we're doing, these other things are very, very important, and they put us in a better position than we were in the past because we're able to set up a better sales and marketing organization.
So you're not discouraged at all?
I think they're going to have 3 years here, right? We're going to get closer next year. We're going to get a couple. We're going to add to depth. We're going to have injuries every year, and right now we struggle at depth. Look, we lose a center, and we don't even have another center that can come in and really play that position. That's not where Tanner plays. He's a guard, so he's done an admirable job. But the timing being off, especially with who we have with Aker back there running the ball now, it's just too slow. So the team speed needs to improve, and they'll do that. So I think we need to be looking better next year. And do a much better job, I think, if you take talent off the table, of controlling the controllables. Not jumping off sides, not getting into illegal formations, not rumbling, stumbling, and fumbling, not dropping passes over and over again, not overthrowing 3-yard passes when we need a first down on third. All these things that are simple plays so we're not shooting ourselves in the foot. That I expect to get better, and the team and the athleticism and the depth should improve, because year 3, they have to put up some results. Otherwise, we'll start looking in another direction. I think they have 3 years.
So what did you feel after Saturday? Because the overall feeling I got from Badger fans was, I can't believe this happened, and I'm kind of done with this season. That's what I've heard.
Yeah,
I think there's still – go ahead.
I can believe it happened, because – if you get really ornery and you're like, oh, hey, we got to run the ball more. Well, we don't have a lot of speed back there to run it. And with the leakage you see up front and the time that it takes to get that shotgun snap back there, there's just a lot that can go wrong in getting even negative yardage plays. You're like, all right, well, let's throw it. Well, we can throw it short, but defenses have all the scouted looks in the world, and we don't quite have the accuracy from the quarterback or the groups we want out there that can make people miss. So that gets to be risky. And anytime we try to throw intermediate or long, our pass protection kind of gets called into question, especially on the left side and picking up blitzes. We've struggled. So we're paralyzed on offense. And that's very difficult to dig your way out of, because you're just going to end up running your stuff. And if it doesn't work out, you're going to punt. And that's where we're at. We don't have enough speed. We don't have enough explosive athletes, especially the way we're set up right now, we can't possess the ball and we can't hit any home runs. We thought we were going to hit a lot of home runs, and we're just not there. And the drop passes on top of it have been frustrating. Defensively, we've looked better, and hopefully we keep progressing and bringing in better talent, continuing to, on that continuum, get better in a positive trajectory. And I see that happening, so that's been kind of a positive.
All right, what's your vibe this weekend? Northwestern, obviously a ton of turmoil. I can't believe that they've done as well as they have, that they've found ways to win games. And what's your vision for Saturday afternoon at 2:30?
Well, man, you got to wonder. There's not like it's going to be one of those games that's going to get a lot of national attention. We're going to line them up. That's a team, and I agree with you guys, man. That was That was a real disaster. And to come back and play like they've played is very admirable. We're gonna do what Phil's done every game. We're gonna run our stuff. And I don't know if we're able to. At this point, it's not like Akers going to run for 80 yards and a touchdown. We're going to have to get 10 to 15 plays per possession in order to get a touchdown. And so we have to do all the control the controllables was what I'll be looking for in that game. Are we doing the things that we can with what we have out there to not shoot ourselves in the foot? And from the Northwestern side of things, can we just play in the positions we need to play in to avoid big plays and things like that? My guess it'll be a low-scoring contest. Probably not the most exciting game in the world, but the season's not over. If you're interested in development and other things, you want to see some of the other guys that we're going to see. The depth chart has changed a little bit this week. We'll see some different guys out there and see where they're at, so I'll be interested in watching some of that and see what happens at the quarterback position and at running back. If we get Braylon back or if Mordecai comes back, or if not, do we see Evers? Do we see Miles Burkett? So there's some intrigue there, so I'll be tuning in, but that's kind of what I'm looking at. I think we end up winning the game.
And that would make them bowl eligible.
And we're going back for the mayonnaise. We want more mayo. Now, look, this team needs reps. We need more games, so
right.
we'll take it. We'll take it. And we need the practice between those two things, the end of the regular season and the bowl. So I would imagine we get the victory.
Derek, thank you for your time. Thank you for absorbing some of the harsh critiques, but also for sharing your thoughts on both the Brewers and the Badgers. I hope you'll never leave us. I hope you'll never betray us for another
Loyalty
radio show.
matters, Jason. Loyalty matters in the long run.
Indeed it does, and we are loyal to Derek Blakesley, our Badgers outsider. We will kick off the 11 o'clock hour next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Ruggability. We straight made that word up. How else to describe the otherwise indescribable rugged, capable, incredible versatility and affordability of a Honda SUV? Car and Driver calls Honda the winningest brand in 10 Best history. Your kids will call it totally lit. But we like ruggability, and you'll like the incredifantabulous deals, so see your Wisconsin Heartland Honda dealer today. Honda gets Wisconsin.
Hey, this is Craig Karmas, and join Kyle Wallace and me every Sunday morning for Sunday Karma on a Good Karma Brands radio station, 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison. I'm Jesse Nelson. Sports Center brought to you by ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day. Join hosts Colin Russo, Brad Nortman, Chris Orr, and Adam Mertz 2 hours before and immediately after every Wisconsin football game this season on ESPN Wisconsin and Wisconsin On Demand. A big managerial shakeup for the Milwaukee Brewers and Chicago Cubs yesterday. Craig Counsell leaving the Brewers, joining the Cubs, becoming the highest-paid manager in MLB history. A 5-year, $40 million deal. That's $8 million a year to be the manager of the rival Cubs. Brewers owner Mark Ananazio appearing yesterday afternoon on 620 WTMJ.
It's allowed me to reflect on what we have in Milwaukee as a city and to play baseball in. And you know, what I said to the group is we've lost Craig, but Craig has lost us and our community also.
Reactions continuing this morning on Wilde and Tausch. Mark Silverman, Sylvie of ESPN 1000 in Chicago, sharing his perspective on the winning side of this whole thing. He's scheduled to appear in about 15 minutes. Coming up on Wilde and Tausch, 100.5 ESPN.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Going now.
Thanks to Derek Blakesley. Love that guy. It's always fun when he's with us. Still a little nervous about the way the season has gone under Luke Fickell, and hopefully things turn around. But the conversation, I don't think, on the text portion of the Talk and Text line has turned around. Jesse, are you able to find text messages that aren't just making fun of you?
Yeah.
But it takes some scouring, doesn't it?
You know, the ironic part here is, like, I'm on the side of the team. Like, I'm not saying that the Brewers stink or anything. Like, I would think everyone would want to be on my side, but no. Oh, Jesse.
I don't think it's the side that you're on that's the issue. It's your claim that you're turning down having your salary get tripled in your case to stay as the play-by-play voice of the Bradley Braves.
Apparently, I'm the last person in the world who's loyal.
Apparently, yes. Or so you think.
Yeah, I got that going for me, I guess. So there are some fun texts here. There are a few people who have asked a question similar to the way that first-time texter Ann in Winona, Minnesota weighs in. It's the same as Tausch going to the Vikings or Bears. Homegrown kid, UW alum, Packer Hall of Famer, and bails at the end to the team across the border.
Joins Paul Allen's radio show.
I do think, Tausch, you're in a unique situation being similar to Craig Counsell in this sense, that in your playing career and afterward, you grew up here, you've been affiliated with multiple teams, in Counsell's case, one, and then now Counsell chooses, at this stage of life, to go to the arch rival and try and win a championship over there.
Sure. I think one of the things you realize is, there's loyalty to a certain point for everybody, and then you're not. There's a time where you get injured and you're asked kindly to leave a building to have to go rehab somewhere else. And that's the cold, hard facts of it, and that's what has made me maybe a little bit more understanding of where Craig Counsell's coming from. So, I think we all want to have Pollyanna, and everything is roses and seashells. That's just not how sports works. So, ideally, you can have everything. You can be Marie Antoinette. You can have the cake and you can eat it. It's not how it works. So I look at it, and I'm very happy that I was able to finish my career in Green Bay. But had I not went and worked out for the Kansas City Chiefs and gotten the ball rolling a little bit, I don't know if I'd ever gotten re-signed by Green Bay.
No.
So all of these things are kind of cause and effect, and the game is the game. You can either play it or you're going to get played. So I think in this instance, Craig Counsell, yes, it would have been fascinating for him and awesome for all of us to have the Michael Strahan great finish where Craig Counsell leads his hometown team to a World Series championship. It's not how it worked. And I don't think you could be disappointed by that, but this is the cold, hard reality of sports. And until you get slapped in the face, you can believe that that's how it works. But that's why Brett Favre didn't finish his career. Aaron Rodgers didn't finish. You can go through the list. Peyton Manning, all these players that are top of their field. I was never at the top of my field. I never got to dictate where I could go. But I can tell you right now, I would have wanted to go where somebody's going to pay me an extraordinary amount of money, because that is the respect, and that's what you're all working for, is to be able to get everything. It would have been awesome if it would have been the Green Bay Packers. And would I have been bummed if it was the San Diego Chargers? Yeah, I would have loved for it to have been the way it was. That would have been Green Bay. But that's just not how sports works. And I don't ask fans to understand all that. I'm going to tell you my perspective on it. But the reason sports are awesome is because you have these thoughts, and as a fan, you can be fanatical about it. But that's not the real world. It's just not.
Jesse, by the way, two things. One, that was really good. And let's be honest, if Alan Barber, who was a fourth-round pick in 2007, doesn't struggle at right tackle, maybe they don't bring you back either, right? And I am thankful that they did, even though you weren't real great with the media on your last turn of events and you just hid in the training room. But there are very few that get the opportunity to do what you did, and you almost didn't get it. And you know what that tells me? Loyalty is a two-way street, and that the teams don't do a hell of a lot of driving on that street for anyone. So let's not forget that part of the equation.
I think, and that's the part that fans don't need to. Like, it's the sausage getting made, right? It's the all of that stuff that goes into it. Hey, just give me my sausage patty on McMuffin and let me eat. I don't need to hear all that other stuff, and I get it. Not many people want to work in a sausage-making plant. I mean, there are people that do it, but that doesn't mean that that's their dream job or anything like that. So this is where it's at, and I think you could look at Craig Counsell and you could say, well, he could have taken less. Yeah, he could have, but obviously that's not what he wanted to do with his life, and life is a lot about what opportunities you have. Sometimes you're limited. I had limited opportunities. Craig Counsell had the world. He had every major market team that had availability, and he had a team that didn't even have availability, and they decided to pay him double what he was making. So for everybody that can be as irritated as you want, I get it. I understand it. But I also understand where Craig Counsell's coming from, and I do believe it's not only about the money. The money is the sweetener. I think a lot of it had to do with, you let me become a free agent. All right, that tells me everything I needed to know.
Jesse, you got a couple more texts so we can get to Sylvie on time.
Yeah, now if the sausage-making plant offered you triple your salary, would you consider going to work over there rather than stay?
At this point in my life, no, I would not. And I'd be 100% honest with you about that. I promise you I would not.
Jim in Indianapolis. Although going to the Cubs really hurts us Brewers fans, maybe some of the sting goes away if we look at Craig as the best Brewers manager, never to be able to win when it counts in the postseason.
Yeah, same with every other manager in Brewers history, though, right?
Craig Counsell's led us through the glory years of Brewers baseball. It's just the facts. What would Wisconsin sports fans least like to see? Aaron Rodgers leading the New York Jets to a world championship, or Craig Counsell taking the Cubs and winning a World Series? This is the one rare occasion I think people would go against Rodgers and actually rather see him win than see Craig Counsell win.
Because Cubs versus if Aaron Rodgers leaves the Jets after this season and goes to the Bears, that's a much harder question, like Favre did with the Vikings.
I still think it would be Counsell. Now the Vikings, maybe not. Maybe not.
I got one more text here I wanted to run by you guys from Ryan in Milwaukee. As a Brewers fan, I'm disappointed. However, to use an analogy, dangerous game, Ryan. It's the same disappointment I feel when the Packers are on the clock and they draft another defensive player. It's just the way it is. Packers draft defense, Brewers don't cut the check.
He's not wrong. He's definitely not wrong. Until they pick Maserati Marv when they're picking fourth in the April draft. Real quick on the poll question so we can get to Sylvie and Tausch can tell us about his love of Coors Light. If you have to pick one, who are you more pissed at that Craig Counsell is now the Cubs manager, not the Brewers manager? Tausch, now we've only got 578 votes in an hour, which is not great for us because I think people usually vote in Packers polls with us. How do you think this is breaking down, Atanasio versus Counsell?
60-40, Atanasio? 60-40.
Do you cheat? Do you cheat?
I try not to. In this, are you talking about in this poll? I obviously cheat on my diet and some other stuff, but no, I did not look at. I don't even know if I voted yet, or if I did, I voted right away.
59.4%. Mark Atanasio, 40.6%. You're off by 0.6%. Pretty good.
I just think there's still – I think when you look at this and you look at another month, I think this will be closer to 80-20. And then you get to spring training, I bet it's probably even closer. And by the time
when they've traded Corbin Burns away and –
when we get to I wonder if that will limit what the Brewers will do. Well, first off, which is it Woody that's hurt?
Yes.
Woody's hurt, right?
Correct.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I wonder what this poll will be. Jesse, template this down unless you left for the Bradley Bolts job. Before Memorial Day, I'd like to poll this again before Counsell comes to town.
Make a note of it.
I'd love to see where that's at.
Tausch, tell us about Coors Light and those cold-activated bottles
Well,
and
a
cans.
lot of people. Yesterday was a beautiful day, 70 degrees. You had grasshoppers hopping all throughout the city. And you had Coors Lights cracking because it was a beautiful afternoon. Brewed the 3-step cold process, cold lager, cold filtered. And it is cold packaged, so it's made to chill. Well, he didn't go to the Colorado Rockies, and he could have had some Coors Light that were born in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado in 1978. Coors Light's refreshing. It's crisp. It's only 102 calories. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Sylvie joins us next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Grassland Dairy is built by tradition right here in Wisconsin and sustained by innovation. Since 1904, the Wheatrick family has worked with hundreds of dairy farmers to consistently produce the highest quality dairy products. Grassland's commitment to quality starts with the way their dairy farmers care for their cows and carries through every step of their innovative processing and delivery. They are proud to offer a wide range of reliable and nutritious dairy ingredients. Grassland Dairy is family owned in Wisconsin and has been crafting butter for 5 generations.
Let's get the latest from Lambeau.
The standards have been set from quarterbacks that have been here before us, and you're trying to continue to raise your game until you get to that bar.
This is your green and gold fix on 100.5 ESPN.
You're going to evolve throughout the course of the season. It's always the fine line of what's too much.
This green and gold fix is driven by Metro Ford.
The Packers finally cut Aaron Jones loose in their Week 9 victory over the Los Angeles Rams. Fully recovered from a hamstring injury, Jones had a season-high 24 touches, totaling 99 yards and a touchdown. Quarterback Jordan Love says it was big to get Jones going, especially early on in the game.
You know, anytime you have a player like that, you want to get him the ball as much as you can, get him going, get him in a rhythm. I think that's what we did early. We were able to get him some touches, get him going. But, you know, he balled out. He was able to make some really good runs, had a couple good catches.
The Packers look for back-to-back wins for the first time this season on Sunday when they travel to the Steel City to face the 5-3 Pittsburgh Steelers. Kickoff from Acrisure Stadium is set for noon.
Purchase, finance, or service a new or pre-owned Ford at Metro Ford of Madison on the east side today.
John Hayes for Goodman's Jewelers. Help us celebrate 90 years in business by visiting us at 220 State Street. We've been a part of a lot of great moments, and we want to add to those special occasions. Our staff is here to help you make that perfect selection for your memorable moment. Come see firsthand why Goodman's Jewelers has withstood the test of time and why we're truly a destination worth reaching. Goodman's Jewelers, the Diamond Store of Madison, and a whole lot more. Goodman'sJewelers.com.
The best is at Goodman's.
2023 is a very special year for Goodman's Jewelers. We're celebrating 90 years of serving the greater Madison area. John Hayes for Goodman's Jewelers. Needless to say, that's a long time and a lot of great memories working with you, our customers. During these 9 decades, we've never deviated from our pledge to you, which is earning your trust, delivering top-notch service, and a selection that's second to none. Discover firsthand why Goodman's Jewelers is truly a destination worth reaching. 220 State Street, Goodman'sJewelers.com.
The best is at Goodman's.
Hey, Drew Scott here, and I'm Jonathan Scott, reminding you that life's better with a home policy from American Family Insurance. They can help you get just the right protection at just the right price and help you save when you bundle home and auto. Kind of like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. It'll be just right for you. We love a custom build. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Tired of power outages disrupting your life? Make them a thing of the past by getting a Generac home standby generator from Adams Generators. Adams Generators is the largest and #1 rated Generac dealer in Wisconsin. With 24/7 emergency support, our factory-trained technicians are standing by to assist you. Visit adamspower.com/generators to make sure your power always stays on. That's adamspower.com/generators.
How can physical therapy serve up pickleball injury prevention?
Join physical therapist Emily Devine, DPT, for a free class to learn about the common injuries associated with pickleball and ways to help prevent them to keep you off the bench this pickleball season. Thursday, December 7th from 10:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Online or in person in the Bryant Health Education Center at Stoughton Hospital, 900 Ridge Street. To register, please visit stoughtonhealth.com and click on Classes and Events. Online participants will receive a Zoom link.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
Baseball season's underway. Well, you better get ready for a brand new day. Hey, Chicago, what do you say? The Cubs are gonna win today. They're singing, go Cubs, go! Go Cubs, go! Hey, Chicago, what do you say? The Cubs are gonna win.
Boy, is this a new song for that organization? Ugh.
Where have you been?
This is what they play? This is.
Been around a while, yeah.
I prefer green and growing. All right. Joining us now. Last time I saw this guy, he was
Crying
laying.
outside of Soldier Field, wasn't he?
No. He was laying on the ground, having fallen out of his chair because of the news. And I hope he got a really severe rug burn when he did it, since he didn't have me on the show the last time it was Packers-Bears week. He's flying the W from his humble abode. He is our good friend, Mark Silverman. Sylvie, how are you, bud?
What's up, boys?
Look at the
How are
grin
ya?
on his face. Look at
Sylvie,
if you're
do
not
you
watching
feel-
on video, you
Yeah,
are
he's very
missing out
happy.
on a very happy Sylvie right
Don't-
now.
Sylvie, don't you feel a little dirty? Don't you feel a little dirty? You got your World Series hero. You don't even bother telling him that you're going to get rid of him, and you fire his tail before he even. Don't you feel a little dirty taking our guy and so unceremoniously dumping a World Series hero?
I don't feel dirty whatsoever. Absolutely not. Look, it's all fair, right, Tausch? I mean, this is what happens. Dennis Rodman comes from the Detroit Pistons, and he signs up with the rival Chicago Bulls. I know he played for San Antonio at the time. We hated him, and then he won 3 rings here. Bob Probert with the Red Wings, and then he played with the Blackhawks. We've always done these topics. I would have taken Rodgers. Like all those times the Packer fans wanted Rodgers out. I would have taken Rodgers. Look, I want to win, and I want the best players, whether they come from the Brewers, whether they come from the Cardinals, whether they come from the Braves. Who the hell cares? I want the best players on my favorite team.
Okay, so you fell out of your chair with this news. Is that he's drinking from the cup of victory? So when this news breaks, and look, this is an organization that, you know, the lovable losers became World Series champions in 2016. I know the joy that brought you, but eventually they fired the guy who managed them to that title as well. It has been a challenging number of years since. How does this make you feel about your team and about this rivalry with our team?
Wilde, I feel great about it, and I understand that, like, you could feel dirty because David Ross, I don't know if you guys know this, David Ross hit a home run in not only his last at-bat for his career in the World Series, which we all know. I think most people know that. He hit a home run in his last regular season at-bat as well. So in the regular season, he hit a home run. Joe Madden comes out in the field, and he looks like he's making a pitching change. And then he's actually making a catching change so Rossi can get a standing ovation at Wrigley Field. This is Grandpa Rossi, you know, a guy who goes out and hits it in Game 7, all this stuff. But again, this is manager David Ross. And you have to separate this stuff. You know, you guys with the Packers have had guys who have been heroes for the organization, and then they coach. And was Forrest Gregg a great coach? I look at a guy like Dennis Savard in Chicago. The Blackhawks had Dennis Savard, who was a hometown hero, and they fired him 4 games into a season. You know who they hired? They hired Joel Quenneville, who ended up winning the 3 cups for the Blackhawks. Again, on paper, a lot of this, I want my organization, and I relate this with the Bears. Do I want Justin Fields to be replaced right now? I'm not sure. I could still probably develop him. I think you can do worse. But because the Bears could have the 2nd pick in the draft or the 1st pick in the draft, I think there are going to be better options. So I think you may have to pull the plug on Justin Fields as well. I think if there's always a better option out there in this long-winded answer, and I thought Counsell was the best option out there, they went and they found the best option and they paid him.
You guys are cold, man. Is this what it's like to be a Chicago sport? I don't care. The emotion, love, I don't care. You hit a World Series Game 7 home run. Get the hell out of here. We can do better.
You wouldn't do the same. Get out of here. You guys wouldn't do the same.
I actually think, and Josh DiMaggio, one of our teammates, pointed this out too. I think this is a really interesting insight into, because you're not only are you great on the radio, but you are very representative of Chicago sports fans. You are, because you are a dyed-in-the-wool Chicago sports fan, and the idea that there's no nostalgia or romance to this, this is fascinating. Tausch, tell me I'm wrong about this.
No,
this
but
is
he's
really
so
interesting.
What you're missing is he's separating the two. He's
Right.
separating the player
For
from
sure.
the manager. And in essence, what he's saying, without saying it, is Ross isn't near the manager that Counsell is, and this is going to give his favorite team the opportunity to win multiple or at least one more World Series. Thank you for your service, David Ross, but you're not doing it as a manager, because if the Cubs made the playoffs and made it to the NLCS, I don't think they make this move. But the fact that they fell a little short and now are going to be able to load up, they got all this money to spend. Counsell sees that. Counsell's done a lot with what I think Cubs fans look at as a little, with the payroll and everything else that Milwaukee does. And now they look at this as an opportunity to say thank you, but he's separating the two. I don't think it's we don't like you, Rossi. I think it's we love the Cubs, and we think this is going to lead us to bigger and better things.
Right. And
you don't need me. You don't need me. It's Tausch just said it it's exactly and if he came from a different organization. David Ross was a fine manager. He was a good manager, and maybe he could have gotten even better. There were certain things that I could quantify and tell you that I didn't like about David Ross, the manager, versus David Ross, the catcher. I thought he was very stubborn playing young players. What does Craig Counsell do well? Craig Counsell takes and he develops players. I think Jesse Rogers on our station, Wilde, said it best. This reminds me a little bit with what the Dodgers did with Andrew Friedman, taking him from Tampa and bringing him with a bigger market and a bigger payroll in the Dodgers and having him meld the two. So you've got a guy who is awesome at always making the best of the payroll and making the best with player development, and a growing team still coming up. But they may sign Ohtani, or they may trade for Soto, or they may go out and get Alonso in a trade. And you can still mesh the two. And I think that was too good for him to pass up the $8 million a year. And I think Craig Counsell sees it as well, and he says, I'm going to go to Chicago.
All right, let's shift gears, because you were you warned us for what Packers fans were in for. And some of us on the panel after that victory over the Bears may have gotten
we got a little excited. We did.
I don't blame you.
Should have known it was the Bears.
It's because we suck, Tausch. That's why. It was a good mirage for you guys.
You're right. Hey, you're right. I saw some video of you rolling around on a tire swing after that game. What is it? The swing of sadness, and you've had to do that. But what's the vision? What do you guys see from your perspective on Jordan Love and the Packers? You're not worried at all that this is going to be the next Hall of Fame quarterback? You just look at him as he's a guy. What's the mentality from the Chicago sports fan standpoint?
I don't know what all the Chicago sports fans think. I don't see much there. And I know, there will be some Packer fans who come in my mentions and will say, look, this is his first year. You guys gave Justin Fields 30 games. And I don't know if Justin Fields is the right guy. I don't see anything there. And I think, with Rodgers, when he came in and he sat, you saw something right away. There were things that you can grab a hold to. With Favre as a second-round pick with Atlanta, even though there were things that would drive you crazy, you just knew there was something there. I'm not worried whatsoever. To tell you the truth, Tausch, what I was most worried about as a Bears fan for me is that you guys would suck so good. You guys were you guys would be able to rip the Band-Aid off and be at the top of the draft and in 1 year be able to replace them and not wallow in this stage of mediocrity that a lot of teams end up doing and forcing it. But what I've always, from afar, this is a guy from afar. I don't cover it like you guys.
Yep.
So that I could consider me out of town stupid. I say it all the time about people who come in and swoop in and think they know Chicago sports. And I say they're out of town stupid. I don't, from afar, believe that Goody is Ted Thompson or Ron Wolf. So, for me as a Bears fan, I don't believe that you guys have the architect. And I'm not worried that this is any guy who is going to draft like Ron Wolf did and then Ted Thompson did. So I'm not scared.
We like it when you're scared. We liked it when Aaron Rodgers had you guys quivering in your boots.
No, it evens out. Look, the Bulls won 6 titles, and now they suck, and they've sucked forever. And the Bears have never had a quarterback. You've got to pay on the other side of these things, right? The Bulls are paying for it now, and now you guys have Giannis, and you guys have Dame. The Cubs sucked forever, and now we're getting payback on the other side. And they're starting to win, and now we took your manager. I always feel we work for Good Karma Brands. I always feel like karma has an interesting way of working its way out. So for all the quarterback luck that you guys have had with the 2 Hall of Famers, we're getting paid back on the other side of things here.
You're even, Steven. All right, last thing for you. So to your point about sucking so well that you would be able to tear the Band-Aid off, that doesn't look like they're going to suck quite well enough, right? The Packers are not going to. I do not expect them to be in the top 2. You guys are probably going to have both the first and the second pick at the rate you're going. But when you look at where Justin Fields is and everything that played out last year, and again, C.J. Stroud, everything that played out at the top of that draft, the Bears acted like they were committed to Justin Fields, and now we're seeing maybe we're not so sure. That's the kind of thing that could happen with Jordan Love in Green Bay, and you guys could really enjoy eating that up as Bears fans because it could take a while. Then they'll start with another quarterback, and that has always been my warning to Packers fans, is that we just don't know how the other half lives until Sylvie calls into the show, and then we do.
Right.
And you don't want to have to experience it because Lord knows they've driven you up the wall for a very long time. But I'm a little worried that we're on the precipice of that. Do the Bears get it right with everything that they've got to work with moving forward, or are you so skeptical now that they end up with the first and second pick, you still aren't going to be convinced that it's going to turn out for you?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I do believe that I'm really leaning. It's not a for sure, but it's now a hard lean that Fields isn't the guy. He just doesn't process. Tausch, you played. You probably see it. the sack numbers, the Bears are one of the most sacked teams in the league. When Bagent played for the 3 games, and I'm not saying Bagent is better, and he had that disastrous, he's an undrafted rookie, though. Undrafted from a Division II school. He was sacked only 4 times in his 3 games. And the Bears have had offensive line issues with Bagent too, but only 4 sacks. Why? Because he goes 1, 2, 3, throw. He throws it. He gets rid of the football. Justin Fields' sack numbers, like a lot of people like to blame. Well, that's on the line. That's on the line. Well, he's also holding the ball for 5 seconds. Wilde, the play that he got hurt, he held the ball for 6 seconds.
Right.
Tom Thayer in the background was yelling, "Throw it!" And then he got hurt. So he's got all the gifts. He's athletic. He's got a great arm. He's strong. He's a good leader. He's smart. But on the field, he doesn't process. He doesn't find the open guys. And I just don't know if he's ever going to get it.
Well, you get it, and we appreciate that you get it. And I hopefully will talk to you when the Packers play the Bears to finish off the season when they're battling.
Yeah, we'll
for
call
draft
you.
position.
That will be a lot of fun, won't it? Not the usual Bears Packers, at least for you guys.
It definitely won't be. It'll definitely be the same for you guys. All right, buddy. Thanks. We appreciate you.
You guys.
The great Sylvie, Mark Silverman. You can listen to him and Waddle on Waddle and Sylvie on ESPN 1000 in Chicago. We need to get to Whoa Nelly. I'm hoping Jesse has curated more of the text messages of people giving him grief for his positions today. That would be a fun way to spend Whoa Nelly. We'll find out together next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Everywhere you look, from groceries to utilities to gas, prices keep going up. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin can dramatically help lower your energy costs year-round by replacing drafty windows and doors in as little as 6 weeks. And now you can save even more by taking advantage of no interest and no down payment for up to 36 months when you order by November 30th. Set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details. Offer ends 11/30/2023.
Ben Brust here to tell you about why your next work van should be from Mercedes-Benz Sprinter at Zimbrick European. First off, we have versatility. The Sprinter vans offer 16 body types and thousands of ways to customize that space. Number 2, we have reliability. Sprinter's most powerful diesel engines last longer and require less maintenance, spend more time on the road and less time in those bays. Number 3, we have safety. Sprinter's safety technologies include curtain airbags all around, load adaptive electronic stability program, and crosswind and attention assist. Number 4, Van Care Mobile. Our maintenance team can come to you with routine service. Who wants to go in? Let them come to you. They work with multiple trucks on one visit. Use the Mercedes Me Connect. And last but not least, get your Zimbrick Sprinter at Zimbrick European at Rimrock Road and the Beltline, or go online at ZimbrickEuropean.com because they never charge over the MSRP.
Win a Coors Light full court experience with a trip to Minneapolis this March. Sign up now at participating locations around Madison to win an all-inclusive trip to the Men's College Basketball Conference Tournament. Don't miss your shot. Enjoy Blue Mountains and the best men's hoops in the Midwest. One lucky winner will be announced on Rutledge and Hamilton on January 8th. Visit Scotty Bar, Lucky's, Jordan Big Ten Pub, Nitty Gritty, Wando's, and Pooley's to scan the QR code and enter today. Must be 21 or older to enter. No purchase necessary.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Rye toast the best toast, right? Would you agree with that?
Rye's terrible.
Rye's terrible?
No, I think he's got a point there. I think.
Why are you looking at me like that, CC?
No, because you're the only one that thought that quite literally
Dan and I like rye toast. What's the number one toast for you? If you had to get a toast, like with your eggs or whatever.
Sourdough, easily.
Sourdough.
Easily.
That's a great pick.
With a little butter, a little jelly. Chef's kiss.
Yeah, a little pumpernickel.
Unsportsmanlike. Weekdays from 5 to 9 on 100.5 ESPN.
Madison area residents, Ridgetop Exteriors is offering free 101-point inspections for roofing, siding, windows, and gutters due to recent high winds and hail in your area. Call Ridgetop Exteriors today before winter weather sets in, or visit ridgetopexteriors.com. That's ridgetopexteriors.com.
We're here.
You brought me to a cornfield to see a scarecrow?
Well,
The mortgage lender said the money for our home is in Scarecrow.
I think they said escrow.
Oh.
There's a lot to learn when buying your first home. That's why UW Credit Union offers home loans with local expertise and a lowest closing cost commitment to make the journey easy. UW Credit Union. Apply today. Equal housing lender.
Hey, it's Alex Strofe. Stay in the know on area high school sports and follow ESPN Madison on Twitter for Prep Mania on Deck, each week's preview of the top games and events. Prep Mania on Deck is brought to you by Zimbrick Honda, a proud supporter of high school sports and local communities.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
Tito's wants to make sure you have the best tailgate on the block. Win game day gear by entering to win at titostailgate.com. Enter by November 15th for your chance to win a Solo Stove grill or a Brewmate. For official rules, visit titostailgate.com. Must be 21 plus to enter.
Nice to know my kind will be on my side. I don't believe the hype. And you know you're a terrible sight, but you'll be just fine. Just don't believe the hype. Yeah, they might be talking behind your head. Your exterior world can step off instead.
Thanks again to Sylvie, Mark Silverman from Waddle and Sylvie on ESPN 1000, our sister station, ESPN Chicago.
Pretty unapologetic, man. Hey, I want Counsell, I want championships. The hell with everybody else. That's what Sylvie basically said.
Do you agree? And again, our buddy Josh DiMaggio, whose fingers have done a lot of typing today on our little private talk and text line. He produces the show out of Milwaukee, and he produces Jen, Gabe, and Chewy in the morning. He did make the point that this kind of illustrates, I don't want to say cold-blooded, but how Chicago fans, they just want to win. There's not a lot of the level of sentimentality. I don't know if it's the same, because when we're being honest about Craig Counsell, no matter how good he is, no matter the fact that he's from here, like, it's not like he's a World Series winning manager. And I know that the circumstances under which he was managing make it awfully hard. And I drew the comparison to Moneyball earlier today, and I still maintain that. But, like, we set ourselves up in this state for these types of disappointments by really embracing guys. And it just feels a little more transactional with Chicago fans. Am I wrong?
I don't think so. I mean, listen, if the Brewers could get Joe Torre back in the day, and you know you're going to win a championship or you feel that way, the Brewers fans would have been excited about that too. And Chicago sports fans are very sentimental too. They still talk about the '85 Bears. Like, that's their deal.
That's all they've got.
I think their hockey teams and the way they prop up those guys, the Cubs from '16. So I think sports fans are very passionate. Now, is there a difference with small market teams as far as their loyalty to their players? Maybe a little bit, but I'll tell you what, the moment guys start, you could be a beloved player, and once you stop delivering, they want you replaced.
It's true.
Fans want to win. And I think it's more now. Wisconsin sports fans, yeah, they want it all, but the most important thing is loyalty's great. But if loyalty's giving up 3 sacks or throwing 5 picks, loyalty's out the window, man. Get me Chuck Fuchsia. Get me somebody else in there to play.
Chuck Fuchsia?
Yeah, it's a name I always remember. I don't know why.
You mean Chuck Fusina?
I called him Fuchsia.
Of course he did.
Fusina. You had, who was the lefty from BYU? Roscoe.
Robbie Bosco?
Robbie Bosco. You had Anthony Dilweg. Like, there's Randy Wright. Was there a call for Randy Wright to continue to stay as quarterback? He's a Wisconsin guy.
He was a Wisconsin guy. Yeah, sure. No.
Or was it, this guy can't play at the level we need, and let's get somebody that can win? So
Let's get Blair
selective.
Keel. Yeah, let's get Mike Tomczak, indeed.
Oh, number 10.
Time now. Hey, number 10 right now, number 10. Let's get Jim Zorn. Time now for Whoa Nelly.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Whoa Nelly
on Wilde and Tausch.
Jesse, are you going to be mad at Giannis if he were to leave for a better situation, like if he went to Boston? It's from Daniel.
What's the answer to that?
I'd be a little upset, but I think he's put in his time. He won a championship here, so...
Craig Counsell didn't put in his time?
He didn't win a championship here. Jesse, just stop. This is really, really bad. Your takes make no sense. What if the Brewers aren't his dream job? It's not because you think it is, Jesse. From Brian and Swamico.
I like the way he put the tone.
Yeah.
The Jesse tone is
It's like reading mean tweets on
spot
Kimmel.
on. Very spot on.
I got to scroll down to find some other ones here. I did get an interesting phone call during the commercial break. He couldn't hang on.
From George.
No, it's from Andy in Green Bay.
Okay.
By the way, my dad says he appreciates everything Counsell did for the Brewers, and he doesn't have any vitriol against him. Talked to him on the way in this morning. He's a
Good for George. I respect
He's a better person than I suppose.
Clearly.
If Counsell asked George to come down and usher and pay him 3 times what he made at AmFam Field, is he going down to Wrigley?
Knowing Usher George's experience with Cubs fans visiting AmFam Field, I'm pretty confident saying he would decline that opportunity.
What if he was still in his prime?
Him and ask him?
Pretty confident.
Text him and ask him 3x he makes on it.
To go be an usher at Wrigley Field rather than
And all of his
AmFam
expenses paid to get down to the games.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I like you sweetening the offer.
Well, yeah, it's got to be equal.
So Andy in Green Bay called in, and he said, what if we flip the scenario? Now the Brewers are in need of a manager. What if they found a division rival, but what by almost all accounts are a good clubhouse guy, a good baseball mind? What if the Brewers hired Yadier Molina, who fans despised as a Cardinals catcher for 20 years?
Oh, you definitely did.
What if they hired Yadier Molina to become the team's new manager? How would we as Brewers fans feel about that decision? Like Sylvie was saying about Cubs fans and the hiring of Craig Counsell.
Well, what kind of manager is he going to be? Is he
Right.
gonna be good?
Yes, he's going to be good.
Yeah, let's say he's...
Yeah,
For the
I'm
sake
all
of
on
our
board.
unit.
What do I care?
Gets you to the playoffs, let's say. You can guarantee a playoff berth.
Counsell good. Not good enough to win a World Series with what he's got.
Of course I'd take him. What are we thinking? Yeah. And
What,
Yadier
Jesse, would you
Molina,
not?
this is how much I have no problem with that. Yadier Molina's bat split and hit my daughter's face at a St. Louis Cardinals game. And I still would say yes. Get on in here and let's win some ball games.
And also, if you could spend some time with Tausch's daughter and tell her how sorry you are.
Well, the sick part about that whole thing is Eleanor, it's the one baseball player she knows because maybe
he
it was a
almost killed her.
baseball that ricocheted and
Okay.
he signed some stuff for her. She's on board with Yadier Molina. So, yeah, I'm actually more on board with this than
Wow.
you'd think, Jesse.
Let's make this happen.
Whoa
Clubhouse
Nelly
attendance.
I do
Batgirl.
I do not want Yadier Molina as the new manager of the Brewers. Because then the whole rivalry gets confused then, because the Brewers don't like the Cubs and the Cardinals. The Cubs don't like the Cardinals, and they don't really care about the Brewers. And the Cardinals think they're better than everybody, the best team in baseball, blah,
all
blah, blah.
true.
Best fans.
That's
yeah.
a very good summarization of where we're at.
But then you got the old Brewers manager and player who's the manager of the Cubs. You got the old Cardinals player that everybody hates who's the manager of the Brewers, and I don't even know
What
who
if we brought in Tony La Russa?
Oh, my God.
Brought in Tony La Russa.
Whoa Nelly
I think I saw Homer tweet it. Hard to come up with a manager you'd hate more than La Russa, but now we have one.
Good job, Andy in Green Bay.
Whoa Nelly
There's a text here that I wanted to bring up because it's about salary cap. It's tiny. We got to read it from Chris in Germantown.
Ooh.
The real problem is that baseball doesn't have a salary cap. This puts small market teams at an incredible disadvantage because they can't spend the money that the big boys can. Executives and managers will eventually get tired of trying to fight the good fight and move on, just like Craig Counsell did. That's from Chris in Germantown.
All right, here's what needs to happen. Here's what needs to happen in Major League Baseball. They're never going to go for a salary cap, and I'm okay with that. But what needs to happen, there needs to be a salary floor. I can't have the Oakland A's spending $20 million a year on payroll. That limits it just limits too much stuff. There needs to be a floor, and then you tax the luxury tax the Yankees, the Red Sox, Cubs, and then that money also needs to be spent on players. So the mid-level and lower-level teams are going to be subsidized by the big boys, but you can't subsidize it and then put it in your pocket. It's got to go out on the field.
Right.
All right, so I get the fact they don't want salary cap. NFL didn't want it. I actually think the salary cap has been a pretty good thing in the grand scheme of things because it's kept every team on a level playing field. Right. And by the way, it's kept the Green Bay Packers as relevant as they have. If the New York Giants would have not to agreed to do that back in the 60s with Pete Rozelle, I don't think we have a team in Green Bay.
Agreed.
So that's why I'm on board with it. Baseball's not going to go for it, but there needs to be a spending floor. You can't have the Miami Marlins getting $1 billion stadium built and then spending $38 million a year when they're getting that much in luxury tax from the Yankees and the Red Sox and the Dodgers, et cetera, et cetera. That's what needs to happen.
I got nothing to add to that other than the NFL does have a floor too, so remember that. You can certainly trade away assets to tank.
There's ways around that.
There are. I was just going to say that, but it can't go as low as some Major League Baseball teams I think we've seen go. All right, that's it for Wonelli. We'll wrap things up, check in on the poll question, see if anything changed in the balloting, and then we'll wrap things up next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
Jesse Nelson here, encouraging you to get your team ready. Registration for Madison School and Community Recreation's Winter Adult Basketball Leagues is now open. And with nearly 200 teams participating, nights will fill up fast. MSCR Adult Basketball Leagues offer fun for every level of player, and they welcome all participants. Put together a women's, men's, or all-gender team for 8 weeks of play beginning on January 8th, and make sure your friends are better than the old Brewers manager and they won't ditch you for a league in Chicago when you get ready for the start of the season. For more information and to register, go to mscrsportsleagues.org. That's mscrsportsleagues.org. Madison School and Community Recreation Adult Winter Basketball League. Sign up now. mscrsportsleagues.org.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
This Badger Minute brought to you by the Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company, Madison's home for craft beer and pub food since 1994. Find the Great Dane nearest you at greatdanepub.com. Former Wisconsin running back turned pro running back and now pro kicker Dario Gonbawale hit a go-ahead field goal for the Houston Texans after regular kicker Kaimi Fairbairn was injured in Sunday's game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Ogonbawale joined Rutledge and Hamilton on ESPN Madison earlier this week to talk about the experience.
Left halftime a little early, got out there and warmed up. We were kicking, of course, kicking off, start the second half. So I kick it a little short, but we got them down at like the 26-yard line.
Catch the full conversation with Dario Gonbawale wherever you get your podcasts.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin can dramatically help lower your energy costs year-round. No interest and no down payment for up to 36 months when you order by November 30th. Visit PellaWI.com.
If you're looking to fill the vacant space in your commercial building, the local agents at RE/MAX and the Preferred Commercial Group are eager to grow your bottom line. Head to commercialwisconsin.com/ESPN and find an investment partner to lead the way to your property dreams today.
Ben Brust here to tell you about the Princeton Club. I joined the Princeton Club because I was looking for a place I could invest in my health, and the environment and the community I have felt has made it so easy for me to incorporate it into my everyday life. It doesn't matter where you're at in your fitness journey because they have something to offer everyone. It also goes beyond fitness. From the moment you walk in the club to the moment you walk out, there is a togetherness felt throughout the members and staff that keeps you going for your better tomorrow. Don't wait any longer and get started on your fitness journey today at PrincetonClub.net. That's PrincetonClub.net.
Brian here from Canopy Wealth Management. At Canopy, we commit to full transparency in everything we do. Because we're a fiduciary, we strive for the highest industry standards and on our ethical duty to put your best interests first. Our balanced approach helps guide you through a complex and ever-changing landscape, creating a personalized wealth management experience. Care, competence, and clarity isn't just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
Prairie Athletic Club will meet all of your family fitness needs this time of year, and it's all under one roof. Hi, this is Sarah Tauscher. Registration is now open for fall and winter youth programs, including basketball, soccer, swim lessons, and so much more. Hurry now, the Pack is offering their best membership specials for the remainder of the year. Stop by Prairie Athletic Club today, or visit prairieathletic.com to check out the youth programs and membership specials. That's prairieathletic.com. Prairie Athletic Club, family fun community.
Every event tells a story, from the first impression to the final moments. Have someone guide your guests through every chapter the way you want the story told. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With a strong presence, great voices, and an award-winning team, trust us to guide, direct, and inform your guests through all the different chapters of the day. For fun, memorable entertainment for any event, please visit us at celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
From the preps
Ball is out at the 27-yard line, and the celebration ensues.
to the pros,
Here's a steal from Giannis. Jumps the pass from Warren. Look out. Showtime.
the biggest games play on 100.5 ESPN.
In the excitement of all the calls and our conversations, we never got to trivia. Double Trivia Wednesday at all.
Oh, double trivia and a geography. Oh, that's going to be fun.
Nice.
No, I love that.
Now, do you want me to put in the request for Tier 1 Tyler to create the questions? Because that was agreed upon last week at some point.
Yeah, I'd love to have
No,
him.
I think he's dating. What was the analogy? He's dating Counsell
Becca.
now? There's
Dating
something-
across
He's
the
dating
street.
Becca.
Yeah. That was weird.
Oh, okay.
But no, that wasn't Tier 1 Tyler. That was like Tier 1 Trevor or somebody
Terry,
else.
yeah.
I think he meant Tyler, though. I do.
What?
You're kidding, right? Real quick look at the poll. It hasn't moved much. Tausch is now 0.1% off with his prediction. 867 votes. Who are you more pissed at that Craig Counsell is no longer the Brewers manager and is now the Cubs manager? Craig Counsell or Mark Attanasio? Mark Attanasio, 59.9%. Craig Counsell, 40.1%. Well done, sir. You nailed it.
Yeah, that's not overly surprising, and I do think the Brewers, from a PR standpoint, much like the Packers with Devontae, probably are winning that battle from a fan's perspective. But I think when you really dig deeper, I don't think that necessarily is the case. I think there's more to it, and that's why I'm voting for Attanasio, or as DB said, Attanasio
Mark. Well, thanks to the Badgers Outsider. Thanks to Mark Silverman, Sylvie from Wilde and Sylvie. And thanks to everyone who called in today. This was not your typical Wilde and Tausch show. We talked a lot of Craig Counsell and a lot of Badgers. We'll get back to the Packers tomorrow, and we'll play double trivia, Wisconsin Trivia Wednesday ×2. I can't wait. Thanks for coming along for the ride with us today. Have a great day. Take care. Be good.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Commercial-free full show podcasts are available free on Wisconsin